the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
I have so many things crammed into my brain after listening to the amount of bullshit that came out in the gaming industry over the last 5 days. It's incredible.
You know, from last week
Absolutely
to this week.
incredible.
Yeah.
Why do they wait until after the show before they start vomiting out all this nonsensical?
Well, we do that on purpose,
ridiculousness.
right? So we have a nice long window to come. If you guys are watching, there's two different streams up right now, right? Two different streams on YouTube. There's the vertical view, and then there's the wide view or whatever. So if you're on the vertical view and you want to watch it widescreen, you can. There's another stream. It's the main stream, but there's also, it'll say vertical style in the actual description, so you can see. And if it doesn't say it, guess what? You're watching the normal one. And then if you're over on Twitter, welcome. If you're over on Twitter, you want to speak and chat and whatnot, come on over to YouTube, 30NSG on YouTube. We're here live 8 p.m. Eastern for Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. On today's show, Sarge, we have lots of stuff from Sony not making discs anymore, to converting their plant over, to people canceling their PlayStation Plus, to stocks rising after they announced it, people selling off their stocks, or the president selling off their stocks. Lots of stuff happening with Sony. And then Xbox was like, hold my beer. They're like, you guys had last week, we've got this week. Okay. So Asha Sharma came out. She talks about the layoffs. I actually think it's actually pretty good. I mean, just because last week we talked about how 4 studios were going to potentially close. And this week, 0 studios closed, right? They moved 4 studios off, and they shuttered half of these studios that for 3,200 people lost their job. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Marvel Rivals season 9 is doing something a little different. We're going to talk about what happened to Obsidian. We're going to be talking about what happened to Bethesda. We're going to be talking about GTA 6. We're going to be talking about lots of Xbox. We're going to talk about Tilly Norwood, which is a AI actress. We'll talk a little bit about that.
She might as well be real.
And then we're also going to talk about EA Sports with the college football, where they basically now made a single-player game into microtransaction hell. All this and on today's show for Generation X Gaming. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Sarge? How you been? How was the last week?
I mean, I'm kind of like in vacation mode almost, because I'm going to be going away next week. So
Same.
It's like,
I'm doing the same.
So I'm kind of doing the like senioritis type of thing, where like I'm starting to space out, don't care. I've got bags packed, things prep booked, and whatever else. So I'm just kind of like, I don't care. You know, I'm just trying to make it to where I'm going to go off grid for a week. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm just going to kind of zone out a little bit. I'm looking forward to it.
Eclipse says, why would YouTube give me the vertical version? The fuck's wrong with you? Hey, all right, here's the reason we're doing the vertical version, right? Because YouTube, people,
because it makes you look thinner. That's why.
But just like because people don't put their Wi-Fi cable into their actual drives, and
I still don't believe that.
It's true, and people don't know how to hook up HDMI cables to the television sets from their computer, right? People, for some reason, like watching their phones like this. I don't know why, right? But they watch it in vertical because it fits in their hand, right? I do this. I do the typical, you lock the fingers around, you hold the thing, and you have it sideways type of thing. But so we're trying the vertical version out because StreamYards gives us the option. So I was like, all right, let's try it for a couple weeks. And it's funny because I know how many people that watch the show every week on average. And I saw the numbers from last week's views of the vertical version compared to the standard version.
What are you about to say?
They're the exact same. The numbers of last 2 weeks ago when we were just the vertical or like the regular version is like 375, 400 people, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you combine the vertical version with the landscape version, it's almost the exact same number. So I know how many of you watch your phones vertical, so it's there for you. So we're just trying to help the customers out, right?
But why do you want the word live burned into your phone? Is what I want to know. When you watch it that way, right? If you don't,
when you watch it which way?
If you watch it vertical, if you don't have the thing set correctly, you're just watching the video through and you're looking at the text, the word live will eventually be burned into your phone.
Where? Oh, because a live chat.
Yeah. The word live will be burned into your phone. If you watch a lot of live things, you don't watch it horizontal and you have it vertical, eventually the word live will burn into your phone.
That'd be a lot. You have to watch a lot of stuff for that to happen.
You want to see my phone?
Is it really burnt in?
It's getting there.
Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then just shut the chat down so you don't see the chat.
No, I understand that, but you're not paying attention to it. I'm not paying attention to it until you see it.
This is why I play for YouTube Premium. I just tap the button on the side and it still plays in the background without anything being on.
Yeah, the worst one is the line, though. The line that's in the middle of the video to the text. That line is there. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I started watching more horizontal, because I started realizing that it's starting to burn in. Listen, I already looked up the screen price to replace my screen. I'm good. I have a backup screen waiting. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
is it time to turn in your phone?
It's not time to turn in my phone because I actually take care of my phone. You know, I have it in a good case.
Well, I take care of it. It's just 3 years though. Something starts to go off with it.
Well, it's because they keep downloading all the updates and stuff into it. That's why.
Well, it's planned obsolescence. That's what they do to get you.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not because your phone's going to break. You can remove that crap out of your phone. You just jailbreak it. It's fine.
Sure, but my last iPhone that I just replaced like a month ago, is because the port where I plug in my stuff was fucked up, so it wouldn't charge. So I had to like grab it and put it to the side, and then loop it around my charger so it would put the pressure enough to pull it to the one side just so it would charge. And to fix that, it would cost me more than just getting a new phone. So I was just
but that's not really true. You don't want to take it down. Just go to another guy. Just go to a different guy and change out the port.
If you go to the break a fix the thing, whatever, they charge like $250 to fix the fucking port. I'm like, no, I'm good. I get a free phone with a turn-in.
But it's not a free phone. You're still paying.
Yeah, of course you're paying. You're paying your monthly fee. Yeah. The promotion though it's a trade-in. It's free, so you're not paying anything up.
Yeah, but before you trade in, let me ask you a question. Before you trade in your phone, do you fucking wipe it? Like do you put a magnet over the goddamn thing?
No,
because
you go back to the factory reset.
No, well, what I'm saying is I'm making sure that if I give my phone back at all, I make sure the thing is like dead.
Yeah,
all it is an empty hard drive. Yeah.
Factory resetted. Yeah.
Okay.
Pixel says vertical is decent, but the background is kind of generic. What do you for our vertical? Or are you just saying in general? Like it's I'm confused.
Sorry.
Yeah. See, Michelle says this vertical version looks amazing. See, you're welcome. We're unlike Sony and Microsoft. I listen to our customers. Okay, our customers wanted vertical. You got vertical.
And then every once in a while, we can look at each other and do like the wrestling match thing.
Oh, right. It's like,
right. You do this, you go.
That's it. It's the fight night. Fight night. All right. Let's. What have you been playing this week, Sarge? Actually, before we get that, I almost forgot to play the intro. Sarge, another week What have you been playing? Anything new? Anything interesting? Anything that looks like maybe you haven't tried out before?
I mean, you're gonna laugh at me, but everyone's been talking about Grand Theft Auto so much for like the last 2 weeks now, like just everything about Grand Theft Auto. So I loaded up Grand Theft Auto 5. I was just kind of wandering around, and I'm like, it's still, to me, it's like, I don't know, it's like where you put all the insane people and you put them inside of a room. Like that's what it's like if you go into like a Grand Theft Auto like server, right? It's just chaos. It's not like unless you specifically go to a specific server and you guys set it up to do jobs and stuff. Like just going in and playing like online is just chaos. It's just complete chaos. Like I'll trying to do a couple missions and like there's the rocket bike comes flying by, smashes into a building, and a Harrier jet flies. You know what I mean? It's like it's just chaos, right? And I'm like, all right, so
it's the Wild West when you go online.
Yeah, it was weird. So then I plugged in my.
You can make a private server. You can go into your own little world.
No, I know, but I wanted to see what was going on in live, because I'm thinking to myself, the clock's ticking. What's everyone going to do after all this money you guys spent for the last 13 years? I'm like, what happened? You guys are going to just move on over with all your infinite shot card money?
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be
right. Who's going to? I spent $500, $600, $800 in shark card over the last 13. Not me.
Oh no, like there's people that spent thousands,
thousands,
10,000s. Yeah.
So then I started looking up online. I'm like, what's going on with Grand Theft Auto? So looking up stuff online. And then I started noticing people had complete playthroughs of each of the games with music and without music. Like with music, people don't care because you're not gonna get any money because you get DMC'd, right? But at the same time, you want to hear the music in the background the guy's playing. And there's some guys who don't say anything. A guy is playing for 4.5 hours to play Grand Theft Auto and they say nothing.
Yeah,
they say nothing. They're just playing the game. They're just playing the game. So like, you know what? I'm gonna plug my system in. I want to see if it still works, because I couldn't find my disc, right? And then I looked in the closet, found the disc, put the disc in. I played Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'm like, yeah, I remember why I liked this game so much. I remember how fun this actually was. I started looking at it, from like, I guess, virgin eyes again, and it's like, yeah, I remember this. What a great game this was, right? And the first thing I did when I got to like the first opening area where you're allowed to walk around, I'm like, can I still find the first 5 hidden they're like I don't know what they were called, little birds, the little falcons, the green falcons in Vice City.
Oh yeah. I don't.
When you found all 100, every 10 you found gave you a weapon at your safe house, basically, right? And I said I want to see if I can find the first 5 without looking at them up. Like I just started walking around and like, yep, muscle memory. I still remember where the hidden items were. Like it's just, listen, every once in a while it's good to go back, right? And I'll be honest, I really don't know. I'll be getting the new one, 6, immediately, honestly, because no gameplay, not the same people, don't know the humor yet.
Don't know anything.
Don't know anything. Don't know who's writing. Don't know like I looked up the writers and stuff. I'm like,
just know it's Grand Theft Auto 6.
That's all we know. And so I'm like, listen, I'll just chill. However, what I did do, and this goes back against what I said before, but I found it on such a discounted price. I'm like, because I started looking up old games on discs, since the discs are going to start disappearing. So I started looking up stuff. So I found, I know it was broken. But the definitive edition for the Grand Theft Auto series, I found it for like, I think it was like $22.50 or $23. And I'm
the
like,
one that was broke? The one that was broke that came out like 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's like $7 a game. I'm like, to make it look a little bit better, I'm like, $7 a game is worth it. I said, I'll keep it. I'll get it. Because I want to see. Do you remember how grainy? Be honest with yourself. Do you remember how grainy Vice City was on the PlayStation 2?
Yeah, but you didn't think it was grainy. Jason says you better pre-order Sarge. They might run out of copies.
out of what? Out
the
of
digital.
The 6?
Out of 6. Yeah.
No,
run out of digital copies.
I want closure on the guy who emptied out part of his 401k to invest in Grand Theft Auto sales. That's the one I want to follow up on. I want to know the follow-up on the guy who pulled money out of his 401k to buy codes for Grand Theft Auto 6. I definitely want to follow up.
I don't think that's true. I don't think a guy would take out his 401k to buy unlimited copies. Like 500 copies of it. I was like, what's wrong with you?
Like if you were going to pull any money out of your 401k, buy gold or Bitcoin or
gold, silver,
something. Like what are you talking about? Codes. brain dead.
I'm gonna sell them on for. I could just go buy one. Like I don't need to go through who's buying it from a secondhand person that's paying more money. It's digital. You can just go buy it.
Yeah. I really believe people's brains are broken. I really truly believe that if you believe that you need a pre-order of a
Tide
digital
Pods. I don't know what
copy,
to tell you. Yeah, those people eat Tide Pods.
oh, that's definitely Tide. It's a Tide Pod. It's a Tide Pod for breakfast, a Tide Pod for lunch, and a sensible dinner. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah, eBay. It's on eBay, right? For $180. If someone buys that, they've eaten Tide Pods. Yeah, 100%.
Or at least sniffed them. One or the other.
Yeah, they're popping them like candy. They're like, oh, this is good. That's my favorite flavor. Dishwasher detergent. Yeah.
It's lime. It's green. It's got to be lime.
Could be blue. It's a mystery flavor.
Who put the fat guy in Discord of the Welcome to Costco? I love you. I caught
me.
it. Did you put that in there?
Yeah, that was me.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I had to start tracing back what it led to, because of like, he had to put that in there for a reason. Let's go look.
I put it up there because of the 14 layers of management.
Oh, don't get me started. Easy.
We'll talk about that.
Easy.
I'm just telling you where it's from.
Easy.
What else have you been playing, Sarge? Anything?
Well, we did the RV game, right? And I watched another. I'm still playing the RTSs. That's what I play. Right now it's still the Company Heroes 3 and the Dawn of War series. I'm getting ready for the release of Dawn of War.
Didn't they just bring in another character or class inside of Space Marines 2?
No, that's for Dark
There's
Tide.
so many Warhammer games.
That's for Dark Tide. There's a new character in Dark Tide, not in Space Marine 2.
I was like, I don't know who they're putting into what. There's so many 40K games out there, so I don't know who they're adding to what thing.
Yeah, I've actually been playing Space Marine 2. I do like a couple
on
missions.
Sale right now. You can get it for like $17.
I thought about it. I thought, well, today's the last day, right? Today's the 9th. Today's the last day of the summer sale.
Yeah, I think it's $17 on Steam.
I'm gonna go look online after the show. I think I might pick up a couple of games I know I'll play. But I'm doing like a collage of games that I know I liked and that I don't have on disc, to see if I can find them on disc before the apocalypse happens.
We went to GameStop. I think it was Friday last week. I went to GameStop and I just looked at I wasn't buying anything. I just wanted to see, because the section is about as big as my desk here. It's like 10 games. That's all they have left, right? Nothing's new
because nothing's coming in.
Yeah, so they have
no one brings them games to resell. That's why there's nothing left.
I found Titanfall 1, 2, God of War Ragnarok, because I don't have that, right? And then but I also didn't buy it. And then the Ultimate Edition for Borderlands, right? Which is like the 3 games, whatever, all included, whatever.
Sure.
Less than $30 for all 4 of those games. All right. And Titanfall 1 and 2 combined total was $5. I was like, dude, I should pick them up just to have them.
I mean,
but
yeah. I mean, listen, you'll be able to sell it again later, right? Because remember, when the kids don't have the games,
yeah, but what are you going to play it on? What are you going to put in to play it?
There'll always be a box, bro.
No,
there will always be a box.
Sony and Microsoft will make a disk drive separate, but it'll only play old, like certain games, not the old games, because they don't want to do backwards compatibility. They'll have to sell you the specific backwards compatibility disk drive that's for extra money. You know, like what's going to happen with that? I don't want to get. You know what? Don't answer that question.
Nope.
Nope. I've been playing Enshrouded. Really like that game. I play a lot of survival games like that. I'm going to be playing Dune Awakening. Pal World comes out tomorrow, 1.0. I'm going to go back and play that.
I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be playing Pal World.
Well, they've sold 40 million copies now. 40 million copies. Okay. That's why Nintendo sued them, because they sold 40 million copies of an off-brand Pokemon game.
It's too bad, Nintendo. Somebody else is allowed to have some sunshine. It's too bad.
So they have Dragon Wild.
You can't copyright a ball throw.
I think Dragon Wilds 1.0 just came out, or it's going to be coming out. So there's a lot of survival games. Dune Awakening comes out in September. We talked a little bit about that last week. But I've been playing the Droid Tycoon on Fortnite. Okay. I level out the battle pass because I get the battle pass for free because it's part of Game Pass. So they give me the whole thing. So I've completed that within, I think, 3 weeks, just playing the droid game. That's all. I just go on for like maybe an hour and just build up my base, trade some droids, right? I call it a podcast game, right? Like right now, someone could be playing that game while listening to us. That's what that is. That's a podcast game where you could just play a game, mindless, numbing thing, and listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube and stuff like that. We played RV There Yet. I really like that game. It's a stupid, not stupid in a bad way, but it's a fun, stupid little game that gets you a little frustrated because you're like, how is this
a little
at times? Well, I love how you yell at me. You're like, you gotta move it. I'm like, all I see is this, like the top of the steering wheel and like barely anything. I don't see the road. There's like no road to see.
Yeah,
so
I know. It's a game. It's a game full of Danny DeVito's.
Yes, when you're going up the hill like this, okay, you see nothing but the sky. You're like, go up, whoa, and I'm like, I can't see, man. I'm just going slowly over the thing. But it's like the stupid things that happen while you're playing that game. Like yesterday, we went over the bridge and I fell and we just slid the RV across the bridge because our tires are hanging off. And we fell off backwards and we went backwards down the hill into the the ditch. I was like, we'll fine. We'll figure it out. I like that. There's way more ways to do stuff now. You don't have to just stay on the road. You can try different things. So we'll continue that. Obviously not next week because you're out of town. I'm out of town. So it'll be 2 weeks when we continue that. What else have I been playing?
Can we just finish it? Just finish it. We're
will.
so close. Like the sign says, I don't want to wait
2 weeks.
I don't wait 2 weeks to get. It's like 3 miles left on the damn sign. Just finish it.
All right. So you want to play? It. I'm not playing tonight. I'm exhausted after this. You want to play this weekend, like late night? I'll just record it and then we'll just throw it up there.
Just maybe on Sunday. Just do it on Sunday.
All right, maybe. All right. I haven't been playing much else stuff. Just
what about the Rivals stuff? Have you been playing the Rivals?
I haven't been playing Rivals. Yeah, haven't been playing Rivals. Jubilee comes in tomorrow. They put Jubilee in, and then Red Hood comes in.
Does Will package the Cyclops come in? Does he come in?
No, but Captain America's, they shrunk his package from last week when we talked about it. They diminished it just a little bit.
What do you mean, just a little bit?
Well, it's not hanging past his knee now. It's like up in his like mid thigh region again, right? It wasn't hanging past his knees anymore.
They argued about downscaling his package. To like
they did it. They didn't argue. They just shrunk it. It was just too big. He is Captain America. It's gonna be well hung. So I haven't been playing it. I'll probably pick it up and try it again. Yeah, 30 about admiring it. How can you not see it? Like we showed it last week, Dupless. How do you not see Captain America's nether region? It was the size of your head. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Argus says Burt Peanut was playing RuneScape Dragon Balls tonight into this morning. September is console release. Yeah, so I know it's coming out soon. It's the 1.0 version. I played it about a year and a half ago. I really liked it. We're going to go back and play that. There's a lot of survival games we're going to be playing in the next couple of months. Argus says that's America's dick. That's right. Yeah. Well, what else they have going on? They have Jubilee coming in. They have Red Hood coming in. They showed, I forget who the ones after that are coming out, but Doctor Doom is coming out. They're doing the Ultron. No, what are they doing now? They're doing the Ultron event coming up this end of this month. They have a big event coming out. I don't know if it's PvE or not, but there's a new game mode they're putting in the thing, and they're changing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. They're having fun with Marvel Rivals. Besides giving Captain America a large dick.
Did you see that plot leak for Doomsday? Did you see that plot leak thing that came out?
Yeah, I mean, I did listen to a couple of them because I'm not really that interested in the movie, and obviously, when you announce 32 people to be in your movie, you know there's going to be a lot of deaths. You know what I mean? Because screen time for every single person's like down to like less than a minute and a half. If you gave everyone, if there's 32 people, they get 2 minutes each in a 60-minute film. So where they get 4 minutes apiece. They walk in, say who they are, then die, and then they'll go, you know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do?
I don't know, man. Whether or not that's true or not, if it's even partially true, it's just going to be a travesty. Even if parts of it are true, it's going to be a travesty.
I mean,
you cannot.
At this point, I don't care.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, they are so desperate, right? Because they don't even know how they built it up before. Like, they don't remember, and so now they just want their dessert without any kind of appetizers at all. They just want to make another end game. Like, you are not going to just make an end game out of nowhere.
Well, they are, because they are trying to reset what happened from the last 5 years, 6 years. This takes place directly right after Endgame,
when they're exhausted and like
it's like 3 months after, I think, or something like 3 years, 3 months, something like that.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
They got to fix it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of deaths. That's what it is. It's setting up for the Secret Wars. It's setting up for a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, it could be cool.
Well, if you're following the comic line for Secret Wars and whatnot, maybe. But I don't think they have the chops to do any of that. But yes, the Secret Wars is a great line. If you got, I remember buying the Secret Wars comics.
I hope it does better than Supergirl.
A Fart in the Wind did better than Supergirl, bro.
Supergirl, I don't even think it just passed over 100 million. I think it's coming out of theaters by the end of this month.
Yeah, they said it's going on. They said it's going on streaming at the end of the month.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right.
Why wait a year when you can get it now?
I mean, they can put it out there, but I'm not going to watch it either. If it comes to YouTube and someone leaks it on YouTube, and I'll watch that like double speed, maybe. Well, like I did for Borderlands.
I watched Borderlands on YouTube.
Yeah, 1.5 speed Borderlands.
Sailing the Seven Seas, bro.
Yeah, that wasn't Sailing the Seven Seas. Just someone else did it. I just watched it on YouTube.
No, I know that, but they didn't take it down. That was my point. They didn't take
care.
It down.
They're like, no one's paying for it. Might as well just leave it up there as long as possible.
Nobody. It was on a main channel, like front page. Like
4 days.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, I turned on my phone. I went to YouTube to check some videos, and it was like the first thing. It was like the first thing that came up. It was like Borderlands the movie. I'm like, yeah, I got a trailer, right? And they're like, no, the movie. I'm like, how did it? Yeah, but it came up first.
And it wasn't like
the first thing on the screen.
It wasn't even like a ripped copy, like someone holding a video camera to it.
No.
It was the version.
It was the version
on YouTube. Yeah. 1.5 speed. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Hot garbage.
I don't even know what they look for now when they do scripts. I don't even know what they're looking for. Does writing count at all?
They look for male, female, breathing, fight scene, done. That's it. That's the plot point.
I can't even understand it. I'm like, does anyone know how to write anymore? Like a script of any kind.
Before we go to the top stories, I just came back. We watched Young Washington, right? Me and my son went to go watch it.
Okay. But I already know from watching the trailers and from the studio who made it.
Okay.
I already know. Did they turn history into like a superhero movie? Because that's what it looks like, bro.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, so, are they trying to do like the Avengers, but like real people in history? Is that what they're trying to do? Because that's what it looks like they're trying to do.
It seems like it. Like, so in the beginning of the film, the act one's nice, right? Act two, they kind of loosely base it on Washington, right? They give him a little bit.
What do you mean? What do you mean by loosely based?
Yeah.
Like the history,
loosely
the
based.
books are there. Like what happened has been documented. How much liberty can you take?
They gave it a lot of liberty.
Guy?
They gave it a lot of liberty for Washington. And then third act, they turn him into a little bit of, it's almost like the Patriot. It's almost like hold on.
Yeah,
the Patriot meets like Braveheart meets Captain America. Right? Like he has this like heroic moment type of thing. They make him seem like he's like this untouchable, right? They literally say it in the movie. Like he was he's the chosen one type of thing.
Yeah, but he's not Neo from the Matrix. It's just George Washington. He's just a normal dude.
Yeah. He
was like 19 or 20 or something like that at the time.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Me saying the way it is, it's a good movie. It is a good movie. If you're thinking about seeing it, I recommend seeing it. but it's not like I don't know. In my head, The Last of the Mohicans is a fantastic film, right? And I remember watching that when I think I was in middle school, right, when it came out. And we took a field trip to Meisner, right? And we watched it. And I was like blown away by that movie, right? That's what I thought this was going to be, like a sort of like a Last of the Mohican type of thing. There's some slow parts in it and stuff. But yeah, they did try to spin it as a Marvel film a little bit.
But why can't you just do it normally? Does everyone think you have to, like, you're watching a superhero movie because I'm talking about history? Like, you're not going to pay attention?
Well, I could tell you, they'll probably make like the Ben Franklin story. They'll probably make the Andrew Jackson story. They'll probably do a whole bunch and then make like they'll cross the things like Iron Man meets Captain America. Like George Washington will talk to this and they'll cross over the things. And
so then what's the Endgame movie?
They'll have the Endgame movie where
is the Civil War? Is it the American Revolution? Is the Endgame?
I
the actual war?
Because this movie takes place in 1755 and 1753.
And that's before that's he's doing the wilderness campaign and stuff against the French and things.
1753 to 1755, and then there's just a title at the end that tells you, oh, and it became the United States. You know, he led the. But there's 20 years between when we first got our first president and what he was doing it during this movie. So there's a lot of time that they can lead up to becoming the United States. You know what I mean?
Anything can happen, bro.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm on the edge of my seat.
That's what I don't understand. How are you trying to make it like a superhero movie? So,
I don't know. I don't know if he saves or I don't know if he becomes president. I don't know.
We don't even know if we win.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even know.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm
it's almost like worse than a prequel, right?
Yeah.
It's almost worse because a prequel you already know what the end's going to be. This is worse. Like this history. What are you?
Yeah, like,
what are you trying to?
Like
what are you trying to build up?
Right, you shoot at George Washington. I'm not gonna be like, is he gonna die? Oh my god, he's sick. He has dysteria. Oh my god, is he gonna die? No, he's not gonna die. He's the first fucking president of the United States. He's fine. Right? Like, how do you make drama?
The most immaculate plot armor of all time. Because the books were already written about you. It's
already hit.
Right.
It's not like he's gonna die and they'll be like, and he rose from the grave. Like, what was he, Jesus now? What's happening?
This is why I think they're so dumb. They really don't know how to write anything.
Well, I think it's interesting though. No, but I do think it's interesting to tell a story about someone you know. But they only tell you that he became president, but they don't tell you, like, they tell you that he chopped down some trees and then he became president. But there's a whole big gap of stuff that he did that a lot of people don't know.
Okay, but see, here's the difference. The difference is comic book stuff are based on fictional characters that some dude wrote in his garage trying to make a paycheck to pay for college. Okay? Made up stuff. It's all made up, right? George Washington's life is documented in multiple books. Writers wrote about the guy that did the thing, and multiple books were written. So all you have to do is collect all the books, read them, and then sure, you could take a liberty here and there. Like there might be something that doesn't always line up between book and another book, but at the same time, it's there. It's already there. Like if they decide to turn George Washington into some kind of superhero character.
He's Captain America.
And one dude just goes, I read all his books. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, that would be immediate. Like, are you trying to get kids to like want to learn history? All you got to do is just tell the real stories. It's fucking mind-boggling. All the stuff that they actually did in reality. Half the stuff that they did in reality would blow you away in the sci-fi world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of them are young kids, like young adults.
Yeah. Name me any 25-year-old that you know that in the dead of winter with muskets and barely any clothing would go attack some other army across a river.
Right? Are you kidding me? There's a 25-year-old that won't get off the couch because he's smoking pot to go get a hot pocket from the toaster oven.
But this is what I'm saying. The reality is more impactful than you making up about the real character. If they try to make up shit too much about the real character, then it's like you're trying to blow it out of proportion. Just tell the real story. People like real stories. It's a good story.
Yeah, that's why I like watching the History Channel and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a documentary right now. I'll guarantee you, if I type in George Washington on YouTube, someone made an AI movie, and it's probably better than
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
All right, let's get to the top stories. All right. It was Virginia. It was Virginia Duplass. He lives in Virginia. As he held up his shield. And no, I'm kidding. There was no shield. All right, first story, Sarge. We're going to talk about the Sony's largest PlayStation disc plant has already started to reassign staff, okay, to make other products. The site in Austria has also invested $30 million of new equipment and will retain staffs to produce optical micro lenses. Okay. PlayStation fans are canceling because there is no more physical, right? Because by 2028, there is no more physical, right? And everyone wants PlayStation to know this, right? Anytime since they made the post, okay, on Twitter, everything after they went quiet for 4 days, and anything they put up, a new fighting stick, a new controller, a new type of stuff, everyone is just dragging them through the mud, right? And they should, right? They should. So PlayStation fans are now canceling PlayStation Plus in a protest for a digital future. And because they're doing this, PlayStation's offering, or Sony is offering people 50% off for their to stay with them. Sort of like your cable company does. You're like, I'm canceling. I hate your cable company. And they're like, well, if you stay with us, we'll give you 50% off for the next year or whatever. And you're like, okay, I'll stay with you. That's what they're doing right now, right? They're reaching out to people up to 3 months. Some people are up to 3 months. Some people are getting less than that, but they're getting 50% off for 3 months to try to make them stay, because it is what it is. What do you think about this so far, Sarge, where they make the announcement? Oh, one more thing. They made this announcement on July 1st, and they didn't tell anybody. Like, when they posted it on Twitter and it came out, even the retailers, people that were in business with them, found out that they weren't going physical media anymore, right? So all the major chains, all their partners and business stuff like that didn't know. They found out when they launched it on Twitter, okay? So what do you make of all this, right? Announcing last week that they're not going to make physical copies by 2028, already converting their plants over to something completely different, okay? And now saying, hey, we'll give you 50% off if you stay with us, because people are canceling their PlayStation Plus.
Well, there's several things to talk about. First of all, if you accept the bribe, you're a tool. If you took a stand and said, I'm leaving PSN because you wanted to make a statement, and then as soon as PlayStation called you up and said, hey, we're gonna give you 50% off to sign back, and you said yes, you're just a tool. So we're done with talking to you at all. Number two is, it's all talk, because they know how many people have a PlayStation, so they're using the leverage on numbers, and they know a certain number will fall off, and eventually you'll have to come back because you won't have a choice. That's the main option here. There's no choice. The discussion is not about discs or no discs. The discussion is control over what you purchased. That's the discussion. People get this convoluted. Yes, it's okay if they don't make discs anymore. You want to try to save the planet. I don't want to have a bunch of shit in my house. That's cool. But there should be no difference in me having the disc or not having the disc as far as rights of what I can do with it, because it's mine. If it goes onto my hard drive, it's just like it's sitting on my shelf, right? It should be the same thing. The same rules should apply. That's the discussion that needs to be had. Now, if you want to make a statement and you want to cancel your PSN account, then you all need to do it. Like, because the only way that they respond is when they heard them in the pocketbook.
It's on or off. It's a light switch.
Right. So
it's either power going in or no power at all.
Right. So if they see, let's say it's a 12% or 15% drop off of the 120 million users, like, to them, it's an acceptable loss, right? They don't care.
Sure.
But if everybody said, we're done now, we're canceling, right? There'd be a complete 180. There'd be some news conferences. There's something to be talking. There'd be some online. Yeah. If you hurt them in the pocketbook, things change. If you don't hurt them in the pocketbook and everyone just starts bitching and saying a lot of shit online, here's our new headset, and they all blast them negatively, or here's my new TV, and they blast them. Like, nobody cares. You buying the products is what matters. And I think in today's age, everyone's got enough choices outside of Sony to make all the purchases you need without involving Sony. And so stop buying their products, cancel your PSN if you care,
Right.
cancel your
if you're a
PSN.
PlayStation fan,
Care.
you love PlayStation, then you need. It's like
You have to sacrifice.
yeah, it's a hard loving for your kids. You know,
You have to sacrifice. If you're unwilling to sacrifice what you love in order to make the statement that needs to be said, then you don't really care.
that's
You're
right.
just happy. You're warm in your bed. Someone's patting you on the back. Here's your new game every month you get. As long as Uncle Sony gets you all you want, you're fine. And you've been living with it for so long, you can't live without it. I 100% understand, right? It has to be easy for you or nothing. That's how it has to be. I get it.
Right.
But the end game of this is, let's put it this way. In January, when they stop in January of 28, when they stop making this completely and that's it, it's over. July of the same year will be the largest lawsuit of all time for monopolizing products, because you will no longer have a choice at all. The lobbyists that Sony and the rest of the gaming industry must have against the public right now, the lobbyists must be incredible, because if you get down to where I can only buy the product digitally, that means it's controlled by the company soup to nuts, which means the price is controlled, the availability is controlled, and when they take it out of your hard drive is controlled. You no longer own the actual product that you bought, right? That's the issue, right? Listen, I'm excited. I'm going to put some money away, and I'm excited to when this stuff starts to happen, because there's going to be some investments to make when this finally happens, because I'm actually interested in knowing how getting rid of all physical media, getting rid of it all, and then charging everyone a fee to watch it, but then also take it away from you. I want to see how this plays out. I really want to see what the bottom line looks like in Sony's books when you do this officially. No more digital media or no more physical media.
Yeah.
It's all digital. I'm actually kind of excited. I want to see what happens.
Well, going to this story here, it says protests against PlayStation killing discs won't matter, analysts say. Okay, so down here it says, speaking with IGN, Dr. Sirkin, CEO of Japanese game industry consultant Katana Games, shared his thoughts on ongoing backlash, arguing that Sony is extremely unlikely to reverse its stance on physical media. While Toto says that sympathize with the fans who prefer physical games, he believes that Sony, quote, Sony will not reverse this decision regardless on online protests of PlayStation Plus cancellations. Although he isn't involved in Sony's decision-making, or he argues that the company's financial incentives make a U-turn highly improbable. Okay, he says Sony currently has more than 120 million active PlayStation users with around 50 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. Even if 500,000 players cancel their subscriptions in protest, a significant figure by any measure, that would still represent just 1% of Sony's active player base.
That's correct.
Okay,
it's got to be all or nothing.
All right, he says, according to Toto, the level of backlash simply wouldn't outweigh the financial benefits of pushing players towards digital purchases, which remains far more profitable than physical sales. In a report published in 2020, Toto broke down the economics behind physical and digital game sales. While the exact figures fluctuate and aren't publicly disclosed, Sony has estimated if a company keeps around 65% of the revenue from the first-party physical game sales after the retailer cuts through 30% digital purchases, by the comparison of allowing Sony to retain virtually all of the revenue. All right, the same trend extends to the third-party releases. Sony is estimated to take around a 30% cut from digital sales, roughly double the fees associated with the physical copies. So, taken together, Toto believes that the financial upside of steering players towards the PlayStation Store far outweighs the losses of Sony could face from subscription cancellations, even if the cancellation were reached several hundreds of thousands, even approached millions of users. Let me ask you this, Sarge. Right, we have the largest game in the last 2 decades to come out, right? Which is Grand Theft Auto 6, right? And yes, that is a digital game. Oh, what happened there? Why did that? Hold on. It's the largest game to come out. What if the people buy the digital game, right? It sells to 40 million copies, 50 million copies, and then they're like, I'm not buying anything else from Sony. Right? They all go digital, right? So for the next year and a half, people are still going to be playing Grand Theft Auto because there's going to be Grand Theft Auto Online and whatnot, right?
Yeah, but you'll need the PSN. But you'll need the PSN account to even play it.
True. Well, you did answer it there, right? But they don't ever buy another another PlayStation game. They just keep playing. They just keep playing Grand Theft Auto,
that's
but they're still making money.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't circumvent your boycott because in order to play the game,
40%. Yeah.
No, because in order to play the game, you need to have an account.
Right. You have to have PlayStation
so,
account.
Right. So you would have to wait for the game.
Fee.
You would have to wait for the game to come out on PC, and then you circumvent Sony completely, and you buy it on PC and you play on PC.
Which
because
gives Rockstar another $100 because it's digital and you can only get it digital.
Here's my question, right? We all know about the corporate salute. We all know that they have to get more money every time. So here's my question. So in a world where you can no longer own anything, you're always paying a monthly fee, right? There's no more. That's all you can charge me is the fee, right? That's all you can charge me is the fee. I can't buy the movie anymore.
You don't buy anything anymore.
Right. It's just the
fee. Yeah.
So it's just person pays X number of dollars per month. Let me ask you a question. When you get to that point, how do you make more money after that? How do you make more money after that?
You would have to raise the price on the people that are already in your ecosystem.
Right. The only way you can make more money right there is you have to keep raising the price of the people that are in the system. Otherwise, there's no other way to make more money.
Yeah, they would have to stop like sharing. Like if you're a household and you're sharing with games with people within your household, they would have to do what Netflix did and stop the sharing.
No, but
and then make a new tier where it's like a family plan type of stuff.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the end game. I don't own anything. I'm giving you a fee. Right? I have no other choice. I'm in your ecosystem. I have no other choice. How do you make more money off of me after that? There's no other way to make any more money. So is the goal to reach their nirvana level of money making, and then that's it? Because I thought the entire purpose of the company was to always make more money.
Right.
So if you're gonna put me in a position where you can no longer make any more money off me, this is what you're gonna make. And that's it. Are you guys happy there? Is that going to be it?
They would squeeze you until you can't get any more water out of it, right? And then hopefully someone else new comes in and they have a fresh wallet for them to. Do you know what I mean?
It just seems absurd that the levels of profits needed dictate the entire erasure of an entire industry of production because you want to make an extra 12% or 20% on a product, and you don't want someone to own it. Right? Because in their mind, nobody can share, nobody can trade, nobody can sell. It's just we own you. That's what we're talking about. It's not about the disc itself. It's about the choice.
Right. And without the choice, they have all the power.
That's correct. And you have zero consumer protection.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do.
Because that's the only choice you have.
Unless everyone gets on board or a majority tips the scale to make the people. Because I said this yesterday on Fake Wizard News and also on my own stream. There are shepherds and there's sheep. Okay. Not everyone is a shepherd. Okay. There are people that
a lot of sheep.
There's a lot of sheep, right? And you might have 5 friends, right? And 5 of your friends, you might be the one person that's the shepherd of your 5 friends. So if you buy this game, they're like, oh, did you buy the game? And they follow you, right? Oh, I bought an Xbox. They all follow you to Xbox. They all follow you to PlayStation, whatever it is. If there's enough people that are the shepherds, okay, that decide that we're not doing this, right? They'll be like, they'll be able to talk to the other people, and so as 2 of the 5 friends that move over, they're like, oh, what? They'll start tipping the scale. And again, like the gentleman said, it's even if it's 500,000, you need, like you said earlier,
it's got to be
everybody. Yeah, you have to have everybody. Right. And what people don't understand is, well, I'm enjoying my games now. I'm enjoying my PlayStation now.
That's correct.
My vibrating controller, it sounds, I can speak into it. I can whisper sweet things into it. It's the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. They think because they're enjoying it now, it's always going to be nirvana. It's always going to be this thing for them. But what they don't understand is they're hurting themselves, right? Just like the horse armor back in the day, it was just one horse armor, but now microtransactions are through everything, destroying all games because they literally come out and say, we can't make a video game because we have to put microtransactions. We have to put a store in there.
Sure.
People don't realize if they just stop, right? There's plenty of other stuff you can do, plenty of other stuff, other games you can play. You don't have to play first party title games.
It's not as convenient.
Yeah.
Convenience is the death of liberty here because your comfortability with how you consume entertainment goes against your own freedoms. you are basically you're basically saying to them, I want the convenience no matter what. And then you'll get to the point where your convenience actually means that you have zero liberty and zero freedom. You just have to accept whatever it is.
Right.
And then, of course, you'll have some people in chat who'll say, well, that's just the way it's going to be. You're the guy you're the kind of person that'd be taken over when somebody else invades the country or something happens to you. You'd be the one that bows down. I'm the one that has to put up for the fight for the rest of you because you're too soft.
Yeah.
You let a corporation run away. You think the corporation loves you. Your convenience means that you love the corporation. That's not how it works, right?
Yeah,
they make a product, you buy the product. It's because it's a good product. But eventually, you succumb to the convenience level, and you're going to give up your own freedoms. That seems to me it's a little far-fetched.
Yep. Don't be a consumer. Be a customer. Be a well-informed customer, right? Don't just hand over your money to people because they make a product. Make it because they make a good product and they like you. We watched Legendary Drops video earlier today.
That was a good one.
And he was talking about how Nintendo up until 2007, right, had the customer, like if something went wrong with anything, you could call the number on the back of the box, all right, send them that, and they will give you a brand new Nintendo with controllers, right? Because, and this is why Nintendo's loved, because they love their customers, right? Even though they're a corporation, but they treat their customers differently. Maybe not as much anymore as they did back in the past.
But don't forget they struck perfectly when they came out with the Nintendo Home Entertainment System after the giant crash of the mid 80s of gaming, right? They were perfectly purchased at the point where everyone was like, this is cool, this is affordable, games in my house, I don't have to go to the arcade, right? Because Super Mario Bros., you got to remember, Super Mario Bros. Was the game in the arcade everybody played. And now you're telling me I can play Super Mario Bros. In my house. That was like
groundbreaking.
Right. So they were there at the right time. So they cultivated the love of gaming. Now, don't forget, in the middle of Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo was making a shit ton of money. You just go back and do the history, right? The reason why PlayStation even came about is because Sony saw Nintendo making all kinds of money. Like, who are all these nerd people who play video games? Look how much money they're making. We've got to come up with our own box. We've got to start selling games, right? That's how this starts, right? That's how it always starts. Some guy comes up with an idea, multi-millions of dollars per game that people are coming out. Because remember, those games came out, they were $50, bro, $40 and $50, right? So then in 2000, after 10 years, think about it now. 10 years, we had PC games, but we had the cartridge games like the Nintendo and PlayStation. And then in 2001, Microsoft threw their hat in the ring. Like, we got to have our own box.
Yeah.
Right? That's how this started. Right? Competition bred the golden age of gaming that we got. Now you're getting rid of the actual hardware or the physical media of it. And now the box itself is just a portal.
Well,
to play.
We need another Sega. We need another Sega because Sega fell off, right? PlayStation took their spot. Sega fell off, then Xbox came in, right? What I'm saying now is we need another company. We need somebody to come out with something to be like, hey, but
you're scared. But they have the ability to take all your media away from you if it's all digital, right? So then why not just sacrifice now and get it over with? Stop buying all the products, cancel PSN, tell them to go F themselves, and just play PC until somebody else comes out with another box. There will always be somebody else who makes another box.
Yeah. I personally look at it, if you're a PlayStation guy or an Xbox guy, you like the first party titles. Obviously, Xbox titles come to PC, at least until they don't. But PlayStation has a bunch on there now, but they're not coming anymore except for the live service games. But if you're a person right now about to get into gaming, or maybe you don't have a huge catalog, you go to a PC, because most games that come out on PlayStation, right? What do you get every generation of first party games? 8, 10 games for the entire generation of the thing. Not 2 a year, 3 a year, maybe. Right? So let's give them 15. You get 15 first party title games, like actual first party title games, not money hacked into the system, right? Just first party titles. You get 10 to 15 games. You get thousands of games over on PlayStation or over on PC that are not PlayStation. And If you want to play PlayStation, you can wait. You can wait 2 years, 3 years, and it might come because no one's buying them. They have a problem right now that no one's buying their first-party titles over there. Out of the 93 million, they sell 4 or 5 million copies of for their actual customers.
But remember, 4 and 5 million copies was completely plausible before, and we stayed in business. But now,
When the budgets were under 80 million,
I don't know where all these costs come from, bro. I mean, it goes in a circle on how this all came to be. But the point is that if you're worried about Microsoft or PlayStation going away, I have no tears to shed.
yeah,
Right?
Same,
If they were to go away, there would be somebody else to make a box.
same with Xbox.
There would always be somebody who would see it in the market. There's a spot for people to buy games, and they're going to make another box, or at least give you the customer protections that whatever you buy is yours.
Right.
Instead of this nonsense where you buy something it's not yours. I mean, the whole play on words that they've been doing now for like the last couple of years now, of the you're going to own nothing and like it, and the consumer protection between the licensing and non-licensing. And I even see people on X and a couple of the other sites,
Instagram, and stuff like that.
Instagram and Blue Sky too, where they're arguing about it's the license. Well, the license up, it's just up. That's where that's what happens. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I take that as fact, then what about the thing I have in my house that has a license on it, but I can still watch it? How is that different? The way that they're talking to you is they're saying, well, it's different because it's ours. And
Right. We do have control
I get
of
the
it now.
control whether or not I can switch it on or off because
Right.
it's not in your house. So I get to control it. So if that's the way you're going to talk to me, then why would I want to give you money for something?
Agreed.
I'm confused on how people hand over money if that's the situation that we're in.
Yeah,
You're going to give me money. You're going to like it.
Right.
And when I tell you you're not going to have it anymore, it's too bad for you.
You make a product, I give you the money, and that's it. That's the transaction.
That's the transaction.
Over, right? I leave, I go do what I want. If I want to make a coaster, doorstop, play the game, it's mine. It's mine to do. But now because it's digital, they're like, yeah, you can have it. It's like having a string on it. And they're like, we take that back, right? It's like
it's how people are talking about it that disturbs me. That they talk about relinquishing their right for the product that they bought, and they say it willingly. Like, how it's being drilled into people.
They've been conditioned to it.
How it's being drilled into people's heads to accept it is the issue, right? Listen, I've got about 300 or 400 CDs. Another maybe like 300 or 400 DVDs of movies over the years I've purchased. Like, I will never be bored. I will find a box that can play the disc and put it on my TV, right? And even if every big company on the whole fucking planet doesn't sell any, some dude in his garage will mass produce a box for someone to buy to play it on your TV.
Right. And then he'll make a business, and the business will come up.
That's correct. That's correct. That's how this works. That's how this works.
Well, PlayStation added again. This is the last story for PlayStation because then we're moving to Xbox. A lot of Xbox news as well. Just like Helldivers, just like all the other games they have people to sign up for, right? Marvel tokens coming out on PlayStation and PC. But it's going to PC, and Sony decided that, 132 countries on PC are not allowed to play the game. I know this is a great business model where you can take 132 countries and go, yeah, we're not selling it to you because PSN's not allowed there or whatever. So we're just closing it out.
It's because they can't make enough money there. That's why. To have a server for that area probably costs more than the number of people in the area that will actually have the product. You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, how would you not allow 132 countries not to have access to the game?
Because Sony is pressed again for the wrong reasons. It's been discovered that on PC, incoming Marvel token Fighting Souls will be blocked in 132 countries, only on limitations of the PlayStation Network. This age-old issue has been a thing for a hot minute, all the way back for Helldivers 2. It says PlayStation first-party releases are kind of working on their way on the PC market going forward, but that much we know, right? They're getting away from it, right? But we also know that Sony intends to be still publish live service multiplayer-focused games on PC as well as PlayStation platforms and token is a live service game. Marvel Token Fighting Souls is the latest game to fall into this camp, given that Sony owns the franchise. The PC launch is hampered by the typical issues that the surfaces when PlayStation-backed product releases on Steam, and then as 132 countries are blocked from accessing this game. This is because those countries cannot access the PlayStation Network, which is a necessary requirement for playing Marvel Token. Like, they just refuse to just take off the implications of you don't need to log in. They're like, no, you have to log in, because you have to log in. You guys can't get it because you guys don't want to log in.
They're
right?
going to
So
VPN.
they block them.
People are going to VPN that shit, dude. Don't even worry.
Okay. It says
people will find a way in those countries to say that they're in the United States and they'll be able to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to play a game, right, you're going to figure out how to play the game. Whether you be a hacker, you're going to VPN that shit, whatever. You're going to play the game. It just seems strange to me that you would consciously block that many people from playing. And you want people in your ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would turn down money because they don't want to sign up, right? So, however, there might be a light at the end of the tunnel for these 132 countries. In the past, backlash has been strong enough to changes to the land on the case-by-case basis. Once upon a time, Helldivers 2 was going to get an account linking update between PSN and Steam, and it was slammed so hard that players on PlayStation backed off and canceled the move. That was only after 100,000 negative reviews appeared on the game's Steam. But of course, there's always a way around it on the PSN influence blockers, such as leaning in on the VPNs, but those steps might result in facing punitive reactions, right? So,
so basically, the FBI warning on my disc.
Yeah,
right. That's basically what it is. The new FBI warning on my disc is now the warning on the digital world about using a VPN
or don't log in. You could be up to $500,000 and go to prison.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know what amazes me is the globalists keep wanting everyone to be able to buy from each other, and they want everyone to be together. But for some strange reason, the companies that are in these countries don't want you being able to globally buy anything, because what ends up happening is, if I find out that if I just transfer currencies, I can find a better deal if I buy the game in a different country, and they don't want that kind of convenience in the power of your hand. You shouldn't be able to go on the World Wide Web, find a product, find out how much it is in your currency, and be able to buy the product where you want to buy the product for convenience of you, right? You can't have that. We're not allowed to have that. That would be too convenient and powerful in the consumer's hands. I have to make sure that I regulate what products are accessible in what countries and how much I pay for them. And by the way, we're not even talking about the progressive pricing nonsense that's going on. I'm just talking about
pricing,
regular
pricing.
Regular.
All right, we're going to take a brief break before we go into Xbox. We're going to talk about good old EA. All right, so
this made me laugh, bro.
So $70 EA Sports College Football 27 locks single-player content behind microtransactions and earns mostly negative rating on Steam within 24 hours of release. Okay, so EA Sports College Football, the latest entry in the college football franchise and the first game in the series to be available on PC, has been out for less than 24 hours and already earned itself a mostly negative score on Steam, with the only 33% of its reviews being positive. I bet you EA's hates that they put it on Steam this year when they put the microtransactions in. Okay. It says, however, according to both fans and reviewers, the game itself is actually pretty great and are marked improved over the previous entries in franchise EA Sports College Football 26. So why is it getting dragged on Steam? Well, the classic EA fashion, the publisher has removed features that were available in the previous games, offline modes, and replaced them with microtransactions for EA Sports College Football 27. According to reviewers on Steam, two of the EA Sports College Football single-player offline modes are Dynasty Mode and Road to Glory Mode. No longer allowed players to adjust the percentages of XP they would also earn in EA Sports. In the single-player, you go into the settings and go, I want to level up faster, I want to go slower. You make it your own challenge. It's single-player, right? They got rid of that. It says the previous entry in the franchise featured fast and faster sliders in this modes and allowed players to customize the amount of XP they earned in offline modes. But now they're expected to drop cash on college football points microtransactions for the same results. Okay. It says worse still, reviewers are on Steam note that while the amount of XP you earn in these modes has risen, the amount of acquired to level up has also risen. Other reviewers have also stated that these appears to be a cap on the amount of XP you can earn without spending cash. Okay. This is all scummy, dude. If anyone's still buying these sports games, okay, you are the problem. I'm sorry. Right. You're doing exactly what the mobile market did, where you pay $1 and they're like, you qualified to spend $5 now. You spend $5, you qualified to spend $10. That's what they're doing with this, right? Insider Gaming notes that content creators who were given early access to the game have also stated that the microtransactions were not available in the preview builds and they were granted access to. And some have also accused EA of keeping the microtransactions a secret before launch in a bid to garner more favorable reviews. This is all scummy shit. Okay. While EA has yet to officially respond to controversy of fans' content, creators are also trying to get hashtag CFB play don't pay trending online in an attempt to warn other players against purchasing the game. Here's the update. As of today at 4:45 p.m., EA college football team rep has stated that the official EA forums and EA Sports college football team has heard players' feedback and intends to add flexibility back into its upcoming patch for more game by adding 2 new Coach XP speed settings to the Dynasty mode. This includes simulation, setting the increased XP gains by 1.25% and casual setting to increase XP by 1 point. That's not fixing the problem, you schmucks. You're putting microtransactions. Get the microtransactions out of the single player stuff. Get it out of there. Okay. Dynasty Blueprint deepens the progression by putting more weight on the decision and build the sustained program across multiple seasons to give players more control over progression pace, and also adding new Coach XP speed, setting it in upcoming title update. Now, someone did say, Sarge, online, they figured out how much it would cost and how long it would take. It would take them to max out your coach or your player would take over 100 years. Actual playing would take over 100 years of playing the game. Well, guess what? The next game comes out next year. You don't have 100 years, okay? And to level up, right? Angry Joe had a video and showed that just to level up, like I think it was like the go up to the next level, it would cost him $50, $50 to level up the thing.
What was worse is when they brought the reviewers in to review the game, that wasn't in the game. They slipped it in after the review.
Well, that, and they also took the bars out where it was faster and fastest. They removed it completely from the actual setting. After the game came out, they removed it in a patch. This corporation, man. Okay. Remember, they got sold. And everyone was like, oh, this is great. EA is going to be different now. No, they got bought out by a Saudi Arabia company and other partners, all right, with PIF. They paid $55 billion for them. They're like, how do we make our money back faster? Well, this is how they do it, where this is just the tip of the iceberg, because now Madden comes out in just a couple of months, and they'll probably do that in there. Then you have FC. Then they have ad placements they're going to be putting into things as well.
Yep.
Okay. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And everyone's just like, I love Madden, man. I love college football, man. You guys just cry. What are you, broke boys? No, you're broke. You're broke in the brain by keep giving these companies this money for games that you could have played for free, right? Like, you don't need to keep giving them $50, $70 every month, every year. Sorry.
The
to play Ultimate Team.
The licensing thing has to stop, though. You should not be able to get an exclusive license for NFL, whatever else. Everybody should be able to make a football game how they want to make a football game.
Well, yeah, you can make a football
game.
You
Removal.
Can't have the official teams, though, right? That's what Madden pays for.
But this is my point. There should not be exclusive licensing. Whoever wants to buy the license from NFL, let the NFL make more money, right? Let the NFL make more money. If somebody else wants to pay for the NFL license, let there be competition. You can't have it where one group gets to make a game and that's the only group that gets to make the game. This is what you end up with. It's that easy.
Because he says instead of being a top 5 best-selling game of the year, it'll be the top 10 best-selling game of the year. That's right.
That's correct.
And they'll be like, oh, sales are down. Well, crank up the microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's absurd, dude. It really is.
Well, that's why I don't give them money.
I haven't played it. I
care.
haven't played bro. I used to play all of the sports games. When they put that Ultimate Team in, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to play fantasy football and thing, because I played my own fantasy football when I was there. I would do the trades and get the people and get all the stuff and do all the things, and then have season after season after season after season until the next game came out, and I would play it up till about 2009, right? And I just can't do it. I can't do it. I look at the company. I worked for them for a small period of time in 2003, 2004. Okay. I was a game tester for them, for Madden. Okay. And, it was nice going in there and doing play tests. I worked there for like 2 months. Okay. And just give you a sheet of paper. You try to figure out, play the game, figure out the stuff. And you would see people every single day leaving that company, boxing arms, getting fired or quitting because they hate it. It's a shitty fucking company. 100% a shitty fucking company. And that was in 2003. I'm sure they got much better since they're like
Well, they got much better.
voted worst company of the industry for like 15 years running.
Yeah, but they got much better at taking your money because they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Exclusiveness needs to come out. That's part of it, right? And the fact that you're conditioned, all you're doing is changing rosters, man. Right?
Which you could do by just, if you really wanted to, if you're a real big sports fan, you could just go into the settings, change a person's name, put them as a you know what I mean? Change the settings and stuff, make this person the main guy coming up as a rookie, and then lead them up the way.
I mean, I'm plugged in anyway, right? I'm online. I can't ask the game to find out what the new rosters are and have it just change online by itself.
No, so you got
like this is not, we're not in 1990. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if you're online all the time and you have access to the internet, you could just go to the game and say, hey, listen,
you literally could have done this in the past.
Right? Update.
You could have done this in the past. Yeah.
Yes,
this was the
absolutely.
Thing. Yeah. All right. The next big thing we're going to talk about is Asha Sharma and her. This is a big post, so we'll kind of break it down as we go. So Xbox resetting Xbox, like they went. I actually think this is the best case scenario for a lot of the studios. I think in almost all ways for the studios that got let go. It says, team, we are at the beginning of the most significant restructure of Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made a difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout the fiscal year of 27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today. In addition to 4 studios, will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect the people who also poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through the acquisitions, and while others also recruiting here, sought out because it was loved this industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect the talent and dedication. Sure they do. I hate this shit. Of course it does. Because if you were good enough, then they would have kept you because they kept the other guy. So which one is it? Were they better than you and you got let go, or did they make less money than you and you got let go?
Or was it just a name in a hat?
Yeah, they just picked up.
Everyone's the same. Everyone's the same. We just reach in the hat, and pick something out. Oh, you have to go. Oh,
sorry, Ted.
Completely random.
Yeah,
it's completely random why we fired you.
Can't look at that hat. No, Ted, you can't look at that hat. Everyone's name's in this hat. Next one, it's Ted again. All right, hold on a second. All right, so like you have to. I'm sorry, they say that just to make you feel better.
That's correct.
Olympiad runners run on the track. They're the best in the world. They're number one from every single country in the world. But some people are really shitty runners compared to other people. One guy comes in first, the other guy's getting lapped. Okay. You can't say, well, you're not, don't worry about it. You're not, no, you suck compared to everybody else. You suck. That's the way it works. Sorry.
But we're not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Right. So let me understand this. The people be happy about this though. I'm not sad about this. Right. The people that got fired were making the games that didn't sell any and make any money. So where's the problem?
Yeah, you have.
What's the problem?
Go make a game for 5 years. Show us the game. Didn't sell. We're going to keep you.
Why?
No, that's not how that works. Make a game, sell a game. Doesn't sell. You don't make a next game. That's how that works.
That's how it's always supposed to work.
Yeah, that's called productivity, right? If I'm on the chocolate line like Lucille Ball, and I'm doing this to all the chocolate, and I'm filling boxes faster than the next person next to me, guess what? You'll keep your job until you get too high in the pay scale, and they'll be like, there's diminishing returns. We've got too much money, and they're not filling enough boxes. Where this guy's young, he can fill much more boxes, and we only pay him $20.
But I don't condone the softness that we keep doing with these people. If your job was to make a game and you spent 7 years making a game and the Steam chart says 193 people are playing your game, you don't belong making games. I'm sorry, but that's how it works.
That's it.
Now, whether or not you're good, you were just put with a bad team, that's also fine. You're going to go find another team to work with, and maybe you'll be with somebody else that makes a better game. But all the studios that were let go or the people that were fired were part of games that didn't sell dick.
Right.
Okay?
Which,
so
to be honest, they were
and even the ones that did, and even the ones that did sell, you were still let go.
Well, we watched Laura Fryer's video, and she said, I think it was Double Fine. Double Fine, one of the people that worked for Double Fine said, "Yeah, we didn't know what to make, so we just put out the strangest thing. Didn't think it was going to get made, and they said go ahead and make it. And they're like, well, now we have to make it, right? Which was
What decision-making
killed.
process is that, bro?
Right? Which was killed.
What was the decision-making process in that, though?
Let's just make. What I like pottery. We have a pottery room in here in the yoga room with the board games. Maybe we should make a game out of that. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to work. And they went, we love it. We love it. Let's make it. And they're like,
because they didn't want to
make.
Yeah, because they didn't want to be harsh on people's,
Yeah, they didn't want to say no. It's a stupid idea. They didn't want to say that.
Yeah. So
who's this for? Did anybody ask
better,
that? Who is this game for?
It's better to let them spend $100 million,
$100 million,
7 years, and then find out you're wrong. That's
right.
Because that's how it
Who
should
is this
go.
For? So the next part says our business today is not healthy. We're operating at margins at 3 to 10 times lower than a comparable platform publishing business. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow on the pace we expected. Okay, as that happened, our core business weakened and added more teams, more investments, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. I love it. Hoping for a better outcome instead of actually making something going, hey, we're just going to roll the dice here and see what happens. We have a great lineup. We have Compulsions making South of Midnight. They're making Kiln, right? We got Keeper from them. These people have been with us for 8 years. Undead Labs, they're working on a game right now. We're not going to release that. We're going to get rid of them, right? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Right? They spent like $400 million on all these like games or whatever, and yet 2 of them are never going to launch. Right, the other 2 are going to let go. It's like, what are we doing?
Because they think the money lasts forever. The influx of money from investors, it lasts forever. Matter of fact, in this kumbaya world we're living in, bro, it's okay to come in, express yourself any way you want, spend 8 years making a game that you feel makes you feel whole inside, and then when you don't sell anything, no one will be mad at you, and then we're going to let you go for other reasons.
Yeah.
Why you were let go.
Yeah. Next section.
What a glorious world we should live in.
Compulsion Games, Double Fine Productions will return to management with transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and run away for their next games. This is the best case scenario for these companies. They basically won the lottery, okay, for the last couple of years because they got their studios, they got paid nicely. They got paid. They didn't make a game that sold well, and then no one lost their job. They all just said, "Here you go, take your studio." Oh, hold on a second. Don't forget your games. Don't forget your IPs.
Don't forget your IPs.
Don't forget your IPs. We don't want your IPs because they're shitty. We just didn't want to tell you that.
That's correct.
Right.
Otherwise, they would have yanked them games so quick.
They're like, here you go.
So quick.
Hey, don't close the door yet. You guys forgot this one. Here, you guys can have that one, right? Like, that's what they did. Okay. So that's the 2 studios, Compulsion Games and Double Fine. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered terms to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. Now, these guys won the lottery even more because now they're not under Xbox, right? And now they get to go find someone else, which they found. They're paying for their game, and Xbox is also giving them money to finish their game because they feel bad. They're like, well, you have been working on it for the last 7 years under our umbrella, and you haven't made it yet. So we'll help you finish it. It's the least we can do, right? It's the least we can do. All right. And then in France, Arcane Management is beginning required consultant with the It Works Council to review potential strategic options, meaning that Blade's not coming out because they're probably way too much in money. They can't find a buyer for it, right? They're probably asking Embracer, hey, Embracer, you got room over there with the other 400 studios that you bought? No? Okay. All right, we're just going to close it, right? That's probably what's going to happen with them, okay? On top of this, best case scenario for State of Decay, Undead Labs, remember, they got bought in 2018. State of Decay 2 already was out by then, okay? So they were bought by Xbox and didn't make a game the entire time they've been there. They just made updates for State of Decay 2. Now, State of Decay 3 was supposed to be on Game Pass. Now, it's not obligated to be on Game Pass. And this is a great thing for them because now they can actually get paid to be on Game Pass. Before, they were just told you're on Game Pass, right? But now, because there was a different company, they're like, hey, we would like to put your game on Game Pass. And they take, well, we think we're going to make this many sales from Xbox, so this is what we're looking for up front. And they're like, okay, here you go. And now they get paid before they put their game on Game Pass.
Yeah, but once again, in that specific case, wouldn't you want them to just sell the game outright and don't talk about Game Pass? Just sell the game outright.
No, you would if they were first party titles, but because it's third party, it's beneficial for State of Decay because they're getting upfront money now. So they're still selling Microsoft. It everywhere else. Yeah.
From Microsoft.
And they're getting the money up front and they get the Game Pass now. So it's a win for State of Decay because they get the money up front, and then it's a win for State of Decay because people will buy the game now.
Well, we don't know if the people will buy the game. What I'm saying is,
well, the last two
doesn't
2 million and 4 million respectively for a small studio. But
doesn't that cannibalize sales? But doesn't that cannibalize?
It does if it was first party, because if it was first party, it was $80 million for State of Decay 3. Potentially, that's what it is. It's $80 to $100 million. If it was on Game Pass, they wouldn't make any money because Microsoft wouldn't pay them. They're just like, hey, you're putting your game on Game Pass. Okay. But now, because they're outside of the thing, they still get to sell their game everywhere on all platforms. And now they're taking money up front to put it on Game Pass. If they put it on Game Pass.
Let's hope at least they do decent so the studio can continue making games.
It's still going to be broke, buggy, and unfinished when it comes out.
Oh, well, that's automatic. But
yeah. So it says, in addition, Mojang and King is now reported directly to her. Okay. With these two studios have increasingly become platforms of our largest and by monthly and active players.
She means the one that makes the most money.
Yeah. The critical geography, demographic, and differentiates to Xbox. Second, it will reset our platform. Okay. These studios. Oh, I missed a spot here. We're also making reductions across the units, all right, for shifting investments focusing higher priority projects. These changes come in the size of Activision, Bethesda, and ZeniMax. We heard ZeniMax numbers are cut in half. Blizzard employees are fired. id Software has lost 70% of their studios. We'll get to that in a little bit. So all of these guys have been downsized in some way, shape, or form. This is the most egregious part next, but Mojang makes the most money for them, and so does King, Candy Crush, and stuff like that. They're now reporting to Asha Sharma. And they were misfunding these funds from Minecraft because Minecraft was funding all these other games.
Sure.
So much so, this is why you looked at Minecraft and you go, how come they don't really update anything with Minecraft? Because they don't have to.
Because they weren't allowed to. They're using
added cushions, Sarge. They just added cushions into Minecraft. So now your character can actually sit in a chair. Okay. 13 years. It took them 13 years. It only took 30,000 people to get fired from Microsoft. Multiple studios being closed or sold away, and now you can sit in Minecraft because of all this. Congratulations. Amazing. Okay, you've done good work. The next thing, okay, we know that the great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, as some of our parts of the company work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Just say that out loud. It's like a joke. It's like a beginning of a joke, right? Like three guys walk into a bar. It's like 14 levels of management. Like, is this a joke? Right? Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of the generation. Right? At our player base, as playtime have declined. This complexity has shown decisions blurred accountability. And no, there's not blurred accountability. There's been zero accountability. Zero. Redfall got published. Do we remember this? Redfall got published and put on Game Pass, and it had to get fixed over the next 12 to 18 months just to make it a workable game. All right. It said made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. Sarge, 14 levels of management.
Okay, so once again, in the
corpo people
in the corpo world, remember how this works. In the corpo world, when they start to see hundreds of millions of dollars for a video game, and they realize that they can make money, they then put together their teams. They put together the guys who are in charge of the teams. Then they put together a guy who's in charge of the teams, who's in charge of the teams, because everybody has to have a hand in the pocket to get some of that money, right? That's how you do this, right?
Yep.
You have to pay the dev maybe like 90, 110,000 a year, but the guy who's in charge of that team is going to get maybe like $1 million a year, bro. Come on, right? And then to make a decision in order to spread out the responsibility so nobody can take blame, you have to put it through multiple layers of management. That way, nobody actually takes the blame whose decision actually was to say yes or no to why it failed. That's the corporate mentality. Why do you think guys get to fail upwards? How can you be part of a company that lost money for 10 years, but when you get fired, you're promoted to the next company you go to? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Right? This is how. Right? And let's not mistake this. 14 layers, let's not mistake the language. 14 layers does not mean people.
Right.
14 layers means groups of people.
It'd be like 20 to 50
Groups
people per
of
group.
people.
Right.
Right. And
Per
remember,
level.
every one of these groups of people are getting paid. Why does the game cost so much? Why can't we sell so many copies? Like, you have the team, you have the guy who's in lead of the team, and then you have the translator from nerd to corpo. That's what you need, right? That's it.
3 to 5.
That's it.
They say 3
You
to 5.
don't
I
need
say
to
3.
have
Yeah.
you don't need to have all these middle management guys in charge of all this nonsense. It's nonsense. Absolutely total nonsense. This is worse than Office Space, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
I got 8 bosses.
Right. It's like, here's another thing, Bob. I've got 8 bosses. Huh? Excuse me? Yeah, 8 bosses. That means every time I make a mistake, I have 8 people sending me emails or coming in and talking to me about my mistake. Right? That's the corporate world right there. Live in your face. It's real. Instead, it's not 8 guys. It's not 8 bosses, guys.
It's 14.
It's 14 layers.
Yeah.
14 layers. Oh, get out. Just my brain locks up when I hear this nonsense. There's no way you can run a company this way.
Can you
Zero
imagine?
way.
It gets through 13 levels. The 14th person goes, hey, I don't like this thing.
Yeah,
and
can you go back and change it?
Yeah, go change, and then it has to go back
Why
down.
does it take 7 years, bro?
Yeah, it's got to go back down.
Why does it take 7 years?
2 to 3 years games used to take. Now they take 7, right? 5 to 7 years, and they're exploding in budget.
I wonder why.
Should we put blue or green on this one? I don't know. Let me check with Tim. Tim, hold on. Let me check with Karen. Karen, let me check with Andre. Andre, let me go check. Holy shit. It's like, can we just get something done here?
So by using that as an anchor point, now go back and say, why did remember the argument with Phil? Why was Phil and the rest of these guys so hands off? Why did they want to be hands off? Well, the reason why they want to be hands off is because there was 14 layers of shit going on. That's exactly why he wanted to be hands off. He was like, I don't want to be involved in all the decision making. Somebody make a decision.
Right. Make a decision. Show me the game so we can say, okay. It says here they're going to drop it down to 5, maybe possible 3, right? So instead of 400 people,
maybe possible,
it's going to be like 100 people, right? It says we'll deliver success through flatter organization that built around makers, individuals, contributors, and focus on building, right? Player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams and directly responsible for individuals, okay, who own the key decisions and outcomes. And with the streamlined work, we can also work across our tools with cleaner code base, shared servers, and 50% reduced vendor spend. Okay. Third, we are resetting how we operate. As Xbox, we grow our headcount. We became more fragmented. Teams, studios, functions often operate independently and become harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and also getting things done. So first time, we're establishing a chief operating officer. For the first time, Sarge, Xbox has been around for 25 years. They have 14 layers of management, but they've never, ever had a chief operating officer. Right. With end-to-end P&L responsibility across content, hardware, platforms, and service. Right. Helen
Do you really believe this, though? Do you really believe this?
I don't, but I mean, they said it out loud. First time ever.
No, I know they said it out loud, but listen to the words.
Well, I'm listening.
You are part of $1 trillion company. Are you telling me in your management structure for the subdivision that is
Never
Xbox,
had an operating officer.
There's no chief operating officer who's in charge?
No, it's just willy-nilly. There's bro.
Please, bro.
Helen Chang has been promoted to the role and will report directly to me over nearly 2 decades. She was there for 2 decades. Maybe Helen should have been like, "Hey, do we have an operating chief, a chief operating officer?" They're like, "No." She's like, "Oh, okay, that sounds good." No one wanted to bring it up to Satya in any way, shape, or form. Hey, did you know we don't have Satya's like, no, we don't have one because I want to take all the money for myself. We don't need a chief operating officer. Okay. It says here that over nearly 2 decades, Helen has helped build some of the most important businesses, from Xbox Live to leading Mojang and Minecraft franchises. She will bring the business.
The Mojang thing was handed to you. Next.
Yeah. Bring our business together under operating model, making sure we can make a clear investment decision, learn from our success and failures, and hold ourselves accountable as results. Also, I love this part, right? Thank you, Dave McCarthy, who's retiring after 17 years with Xbox. Dave has played a defining role in building the platform that millions of players relied on every day, and has been trusted partner through many of the biggest moments of Xbox history, and we wish him all the best. Sorry, Dave, you sucked at your job, because if you've been there for 17 years and we're already 6 years into this, and Xbox was the one before, Xbox One was before that, you literally failed your entire existence in Xbox. Helping Xbox succeed is the 2 worst generations that the console has ever seen. I'm surprised it's taking you this long to be fired. Is anyone else surprised by this? Right? I know.
Well, how can he get fired?
17 years.
How can he get fired? You have to send an email to the guy above you. We're thinking about firing Dave, and they have to send another letter up, and then that letter comes back. Defining
role of completely destroying the brand. All right, these changes are about the bigger than future of Xbox, not smaller ones. The next decade of gaming will be larger, more global, more creative than anything we've ever seen before.
How do you get more global than the world? How do you get more global than that?
Well, she wants everybody, Sarge. This year, we'll invest as much in Xbox as we ever have, but we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, greater clarity in the service of making Xbox where the world plays and creates. I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day. Now, just to put this in perspective, Sarge, they do 1 billion people for Xbox in a year. 1 billion people in a year. They want to do 1 billion people a day. If you take the 1 billion people for the year, Sarge, it averages to 2.7 million people per day for 365 days, right? They want 1 billion people a day. What are we talking about? This is the 16 times the detail, 1,000 planet thing. Did Todd have any interest in her? She's like, when you say something, you got to say a big number. You got to say like 1 billion, right? You got to say like 1 billion. And she's like, that's good. That's good, Todd. I'll take that, right? 1 billion people a day. What the fuck are we talking about, right?
Facebook doesn't do 1 billion people a day.
Roblox does. All right.
The lofty goals set by the person who's looking to downsize a company, who has no idea how video games are made, has no business telling me what your lofty goal of 1 billion people a day to be entertained. Okay.
Well, if it's 1 billion people a year, they could have been like, our new goal is 3 billion a year, right? That seems more reachable.
Why not just make up a number? Why not just like a bazillion?
Yeah,
why don't you just make up the number, because it doesn't make any sense now anyway. Just make it up. Let's just make it up.
A bazillion players.
It's disturbing on the incompetence of $1 trillion company, and all they have to do is make video games, right? That's all you have to do. You guys are not moving oil or building buildings. You guys aren't doing anything. You're not doing infrastructure. You're not doing anything. Power plants, right? World economy stuff. You're making video games. That's the division you guys are part of. Video games. And
right.
You guys are treating it like you hired a bunch of mentally incapacitated paraplegics to run a company. I don't understand what it is you guys are trying to do here. All you had to do is let the nerds make the games, right? But instead, you had to put a label on it, and you have to have a return on investment, and you have to have guaranteed returns, and you have to have guaranteed growth. This is not the slice of the economy where any of that has any value. You cannot have video games make automatic returns, because you guys have found certain things in the matrix here, like, Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, Roblox, like these things that you guys have cultivated people to just hand you over money every week as guaranteed revenue.
Right.
That's not the rest of the industry. For a person to want to sit down and play a video game, it has to be interesting, fun, good mechanics, something that draws you in and makes you want to spend the money. Instead of the brainless, I'm on the can, I got to get my 15 in a row lines done. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. I don't understand.
Dark Taco says Candy Crush users peak at $200 million a day, or 200 million players a day. So they need Minecraft, Candy Crush, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. They need an average of all their big titles, like first party organizations, to each bring in like 200 million, right?
I've now heard,
good luck to you. Fable's not doing that. Gears of War E-Day is not doing that.
Yeah, I've now heard multiple guys who I've been listening to finally come around and start talking about what I've been talking about the entire time. Destin from IGN,
yep,
right? He, the big Destiny player, right? Legendary drops, and they're all saying the same thing. They're saying that games are not widgets. Games are not products that you can have a guaranteed return on. These are people making art.
Yep.
These are nerds making games for nerds. You can't put an automatic return on investment on something like that. You don't know what it's going to do. But miraculously, for some strange reason, during the years of 2001 to 2000, let's call like 18, where you had nerds making games for nerds that we bought and waited for the next game to come out because we knew the game was going to be good. And instead, what we got is corporations invading our space, buying up studios, trying to put them together in order to maintain a recurring revenue, which they had no idea how to do because they kept trying to put in other things inside the game. And this is where we are because the corpos got involved. Remember, when they smell blood in the water, they come around. If you bankrupt these fuckers, excuse the language, if you bankrupt them, they'll go find some money else someplace else. But you know why they won't leave? It's because gaming makes the most money in the entertainment than every other entertainment combined. All of it. All of it. Music, movies, sports. Gaming makes the most money. So now we have to deal with the corpos. And the only way to get them out is to bankrupt them. You have to make it so expensive for them to stay that their return on investment percentages don't coincide with what they want to make, and they'll move on to the next thing. That's the only way we get them out.
Well, as we're talking about that for expensive games, let's bring up the next story, which is Gears of War E-Day, reportedly close to $500 million in development costs. Okay.
That's insane.
$500 million. So as Xbox struggles to right itself in the serious financial hardship, one of its biggest upcoming releases may be headed to disaster. Gears of War E-Day is the centerpiece of Xbox Game Showcase held during the Summer Game Fest with the release of October 6th, Xbox big release, and fell especially as an Xbox exclusive. But Gears of War E-Day is going to have a hard time recouping its budget to report the game racking in up to $400 million in development costs. Right now, everyone thinks that Asha Sharma made a good call here by making this exclusive, right? And I have to say, I think you just set this studio right here to die on the vine, because if you're having $400 million studio and you're going to be putting this game on Game Pass, that's going to make $0, okay? $0 on Game Pass because everyone's going to try it out, play it. Are some people going to pick it up afterwards? Probably. Are some people going to continue paying for Game Pass month 1, month 2, month 3 afterwards because they're playing online? Perhaps. Are people going to buy microtransactions? Perhaps. $400 million. I've said this over and over. You cannot put $100 million plus games on Game Pass. It will never make its money back with the crowd that's there now. If you had, as they said, by this time, they were supposed to have 77 million people on Game Pass, which would give them $1.1 billion a month at that level. They're at half that. They're at 30 million. Okay, they're only making about $400 to $450 million a month, and you're putting $400 million into this one game on this platform when it comes out, and now you took it off of PlayStation because it was going to go on to PlayStation, all right? But she said, no, we're doing an exclusive. So now it's on PC, it's on Xbox, and it's on Game Pass. This is never going to make its money back. No, the top-selling Gears of War ever was 6 million. the best, 6 million. Okay. This one's got to do double that. Okay. Maybe even 3 times that. It's got to sell like 17 million copies. Okay.
Well, it has a great shot of selling 17 million copies if you don't put it on Game Pass and you release it on every system. And you let PlayStation have it as well. You let PlayStation have it, you let PC have it, you let Xbox have it, and you don't put it on Game Pass. And then maybe you have a shot of getting 17 million.
And once you make the money close to it, then a year down the road,
afterwards, a
year and a half down the road, you go, hey, we're putting it on Game Pass now.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm okay with them putting games on Game Pass. Look, I'm a gamer. I'm gonna buy games I want to buy, and I'm gonna play games on Game Pass that I want to, because I don't like $70 games. This is gonna be an $80 video game. You know that, right?
Oh,
this is 100% an $80 video game.
You're gonna have to, yeah.
Right? If not more, right? Could be $100.
Well,
who knows? With whatever edition you're gonna pick up. Okay. So if they make this game $80, I'm not buying it. But I have Game Pass, and they're putting it on Game Pass, so why would I buy it? I'm gonna play the single player campaign or co-op campaign, play through it, put it down, and I'll never play it again. If I like it, I'll buy it down the road, but at a sale, because this is how I do it. Sorry, I don't know if this is how you do it, but if I play and I like a game on Game Pass, full price game, $80, right? $70, $80. I'm paying $20 a month right now on Game Pass. So if I play this game that month, that's already $20 I've invested into that game. Right?
Yeah, but you're taking it. You're moving. You're just moving money around.
Correct. But the way I look at it is I have $20 invested in this game already. Now, if I purchase that, they give me 20% off. Okay, well, I already paid the $20. So it's not really a percentage off. It's just giving me what I've already put into that game. Okay. Well, now down the road, when it goes on sale, I'm waiting for that sucker to go down to 50, 40, 30, because I already put $20 down. So now if I get it on sale for 40, I paid 60. I paid 60 for that game. That's not a sale. That's literally paying what the game should have been worth in the first place, right? So it takes longer and longer that I wait for the game to be on sale before I buy that if I love it. Well, now they might be going digital completely. So if I wait 2 years, the game might not even be out anymore because the hard copies will be bought up, and then it'll only be digital copies, and I won't be able to buy it anyway.
We talked about this in the past, but they should be using Game Pass as the discs they used to mail you inside the PC magazine, like the demos, right? Sure. You should be able to play maybe like the first mission or something on Game Pass.
People have suggested that in our
right. And you still have to buy the game. Yeah. And then later on it goes to Game Pass.
That would be phenomenal. If you could play the first mission or two,
like to just get you like a taste of it type of thing, like a demo disc, that would make more sense. But I think they keep shooting themselves in the foot trying to put these games that cost us. And once again, I don't want to segue too hard, but if you guys do a little bit more research on the whole Game Pass thing, let's say they didn't lose anybody. Let's say they were right where they were supposed to be. Let's say they have like that 30 million people that are playing for Game Pass, right? We said it's about around 400 million. Now, I know a lot of people said like server costs and whatever else is going on, but after you weed down all the, I'm even siding with more costs just to make it fair. Let's say out of the $400 million a month, they clear 100 million. Clear, that's profit.
It's $1.2 billion a year.
That's right. So clear for doing nothing, you have $1.2 billion a year. So if you really wanted to put that money towards a first-party title to help it succeed, I 100% agree that they can do that.
Sure.
But that would mean
$400 million for 7 years of manufacturing something.
But that's fine. But that would also mean you don't spend money on other things. Like for the next, maybe say like next 4 or 5 months, you're not putting any top tier games on there because you're using the revenue to pay for the game that you're gambling on, right? They have money to move around. Everyone has to stop thinking that they're not making money because the conflicting stories are getting annoying. You can't have record-breaking profits and then also not make any money on these games. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Somebody's lying. You're lying then or you're lying now?
Somebody's lying. So they said that the last year was the highest record there was record-breaking profits for gaming, and in the same breath, we're closing studios down and these games aren't making money. So you know that the other games that are sitting around, like the Minecrafts and the Candy Crushes, like you know that they're making money there, because if you can ignore all the studios that are closing and the games that you're not selling and still have record-breaking profits, you know where the hole is. Like, you know where it is.
I've talked about this in the movie industry. The studio makes 10 movies, 12 movies a year. 7 movies don't make money. 3 movies make money. 1 makes a shit ton of money. Those 3 movies fund all the ones that they lost, and they have profit afterwards anyway, right? And this is how studios work in the industry. That's how these guys work. They drop 4 games a year, 5 games a year for all the studios they make. 3 might not make money, but 1 makes really good money. But the problem was this: they're spending way too much on each of these productions. Look at the movie industry. They're spending way too much on the movies. They're not making their money back. These guys are spending way too much money on the video games. They're not making their money back. Something is wrong. You have to change. And they're like, well, I don't know what the problem is. We're still making games. You're going to buy Gears, right? You're going to buy Gears. No one's buying Gears because you've overblown the budget.
Well, let's look at it.
You're not going to have enough people buy Gears is what I'm saying.
But let's look at it logically, right? If the best Gears game ever sold was 6 million, and that was back when Gears was new and fresh, we're talking about
I think it was 2 or 3 that got 6.2 million. I think 6.5.
But now I'll be the old guy in the room. Like, does anybody actually care with all the games that we have going on, the genres that we have going on right now? Does anyone really care about Gears that much?
No.
Like, do you care about Gears of War enough to where you're going to say, I'm going to go back in time and play a game a cover shooter that we played back in the day, when you have all these other games that we play now?
I bought Pal World a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, for less than $20. Okay. Now they're doing 1.0. I have a full game that I've already paid for 2 years ago that I played 160 hours in, and now they're coming out with the release version of the game. I'm going to put another 160. I don't need to play any other game. Dragon Wilds, same thing. Paid less than $20, and now 1.0 is coming out, right? I paid $11 for Windrose, and Windrose is updating stuff. I don't need a new game, right? I can, for the $80 that they want to charge for these games, I can buy 6 to 8 independent games at that price point, okay? Between $10 and $20. I can just keep buying more games. I don't need to buy these brand new AAA games. The AAA gaming space is completely ruined because of these people. They don't know what they're doing with the games. They just say franchise. Oh, you like Halo? Halo sells. Oh, you like Gears? Gears sells. Oh, Fable? Because they don't know what to do. Because the games they come up with are Kiln and fucking Keeper or South of Midnight. Those are the games they come out with. And they're like, oh, they didn't sell well. That's what you're banking on, right? Now, they've owned Obsidian Games, Sarge. They've owned Obsidian Games since 2018. Obsidian's made probably one of the best Fallout games, right, ever, which is New Vegas. This whole time, they haven't made a Fallout game, right? Fallout 76 is the one that came out and everyone gave it shit, right? Still making money for them, by the way. Obsidian reportedly working on a Fallout game, okay? Fallout game, and they don't want to. Right? Fallout game after Xbox cancels Avowed sequel. They were working on an Avowed sequel. I played Avowed. Avowed was good. Not great, not fantastic. It was just a good game. Okay. $100 million. They put it on Game Pass. Didn't make enough sales. Surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, you know what we should do? We should make a sequel to that game. So they were working on a sequel, and now they canceled it, and they go, hey, Fallout's the thing we're working on. Elder Scrolls, Fallout, this is what we're working on, and Obsidian, you're working on it. And they're like, we don't want to work on it. Well, tough shit. We bought you, and you're going to work on what we tell you to work on, right? And now we might have the same scenario that we had with 343 back in the day with
Is it said that they don't want to work on it? Did they say they didn't?
There's people that don't want to work on it. This is why they didn't want to work on it all these years, because they didn't. They made the best. There's all drama that went out in the past, right? Because they made a better Fallout game than Bethesda did. Bethesda never really liked them or whatever, and now they're working on the game because they have to push it out. And we talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. One of the developers from Bethesda, old developers, said, this is not how you make games. You don't just put everybody on the game and have so many people to push it out the door faster, because it's going to be missing quality. It's going to be missing something from it. So now they're going to rush this out the door because
they have to.
Right.
They have to. Well,
right.
So
they're going to have a half-assed, broken, buggy game when it comes out.
What's the gap? How many years between Elder Scrolls? How many years between the Fallouts? What are we talking about?
Well, and they're also using the Unreal Engine 5. Okay. So, according to Bloomberg, Microsoft continues hacking away at Xbox game studios as part of the thousands of layoffs, and the teams are still under a company's umbrella, are finding out what's next. Obsidian developer behind Avowed and Outer Worlds, according to the new report from Bloomberg, canceling a planned Avowed sequel and pivoting to a new Fallout game. It's something that fans have long asked for, which is good. They're listening because we're like, hey, we'd love to see Oblivion make or Obsidian make a new Fallout game. According to Bloomberg sources, studio design Josh Sawyer will also reportedly be leading the team on the new Fallout game, which will mark the studio's return to the post-apocalyptic franchise after releasing an acclaimed Fallout New Vegas game back in 2010. However, Bloomberg sources say that strategy is in flux and could change. Prior to this, Sawyer was reportedly directing an RPG that's similar to structurally, thematically to Fallout, but wasn't actually part of the Bethesda-owned universe. He says a Warrant Act notice confirms that 52 people have been laid off from the Irvine-based studio in California office, roughly a quarter of Obsidian's overall headcount, and now canceled Avowed sequel, apparently on track to be revealed within the next year, but did not fit into, they said it was far along. No, being shown and being far along are two different things. They were just going to start advertising it, right? To probably get more people to come in so they could get more employees of it, right? Asha Sharma's strategy, presumably because Avowed/Pillars of Eternity is not considered a pillar franchise for the brand, an original game apparently failed to meet sales expectations. Yeah, because it was $100 million and you didn't sell it. You put it on Game Pass. Right? The pivoting of Fallout occurs as the TV adaptation of the franchise continued to be a hit on Amazon streaming platforms, but with Fallout 5 nowhere in sight as Bethesda continues working on Elder Scrolls 6, Xbox under Sharma is reportedly looking to speed up development of its core franchises, which also include Halo. So Fallout 5, Elder Scrolls 6, and there's one other game, but they're all pushing it forward faster, right? Because they have to get them out.
Yeah, but it's too many years of doing nothing. Even if we follow the process by which there's the setup phase, the pregame phase, the story phase, like if we're going through the phases of game development, it's too many years of a gap that nothing was going on, right? Bethesda was collecting money from Elder Scrolls Online and from Fallout 76, so they sit on their asses and don't have to do anything else. They just sit there and collect checks because they don't have to make another game. Whereas before, if your revenue came from the game, you always had to be making the next game. So in line, it was coming out down the, you know what I'm saying? Like the factory kind of moves. You got to get things in line and things. You did nothing for 10 years, right? Even when Starfield is about to finish, you're already supposed to be starting something else, either the preliminaries or the storyboards of something to happen. Now there's nothing. We've had nothing. So do you actually believe that some kind of magic is about to happen? That you think they're going to pump out a Fallout game or Elder Scrolls 6 about to come out in 3 years? You're dreaming.
My problem is what El Dente is saying here. He says, my issue is that Obsidian isn't that old Obsidian.
None of them are.
Right.
That's across the board, El Dente. None of these guys are.
We're all banking on
the
name of Obsidian. I said this earlier before the stream started. Me and Sarge were talking back and forth. We used to go to movies because of actors. Actors used to be name brand for the film, and you would go to the movie to see the movie because of the actor. Now that doesn't happen anymore. We used to buy games because of the developer. You would hear Todd's name, or you would hear Bethesda's name, or you would hear Obsidian's name, and you would buy their next game because that meant something. That doesn't mean anything anymore because most of these companies are not the same anymore. They left to go make a thing, and they're just the name, right? They're just Bungie by name. They're just Obsidian by name. Don't get me wrong. Obsidian's made some good games in the past, but they've also haven't made good games in the past, right? Because they're not the same studio. They're not the same people. Now, I'm not against, it's like a sports team, right? Sometimes a sports team can have people on the team that just gel together and they win championships. And then you remove one person from that championship team and they never make the playoffs again, right? That could be this for certain things. Obsidian might get their hands on Fallout and it might be the greatest, latest thing, right? But they're not Obsidian of old. They're not.
Do you want to buy a game off a studio that you remember that doesn't want to make the game that they're making?
Well, that's hearsay, but yeah, I don't want it because the people that didn't want to make Redfall didn't want to make Redfall, yet they were forced to make Redfall. The people at 343 didn't want to make Halo, but they had to make Halo.
And that turned out well, right?
Yeah, the people that didn't want to make Suicide Squad, they made Suicide Squad, right? All of these studios that were big in the industry had to do something they didn't want to do, and they fail over and over and over and over.
I'm a little concerned how this is going to play out now, because like all of a sudden it was okay for Bethesda just to sit around and do nothing. Now all of a sudden it's crunch time. Like now, since we fired a bunch of people, nothing's coming down the pike. We got rid of all the studios that are already making games that were going to come out. That's not coming out anymore. So now you're gonna mash together multiple teams and do the all hands on deck thing to push out a game.
They're doing Battlefield 6,
right? To push out a game that's supposed to be like an Elder Scrolls game was supposed to be like a console buying game, or like an epic adventure of you sitting down in your room and going off into your own little world now from the sizes of these open worlds that we're doing now. And you didn't care for X number of years. So how does this change it? How does this going to change?
Right.
We know who's left, because we know they had to keep some of the good people, right? But we already know what's come out, right? You would hope, right? I'm concerned about how this turns out, but at the same time, I'm not really worried about not having a game, right?
Right.
Let's be honest. You might not get your Elder Scrolls 6, but there'll be 3 or 4 other games that are just like it, that are just fine.
Mr. Z says Obsidian writing from Outer Worlds 1 and 2 and Avowed does not bode well for the Fallout game like New Vegas. Right. Dark Taco says the guy Sawyer is working on the game, though. He made New Vegas. That's fine. And as you said down here, they still have their quarterback. That's great. But you could have a great quarterback, but if your offensive line's not protecting him, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like you need other people there to build up that team. And if they don't have the team and it's just the quarterback, well, it's gonna be a rough season. It's gonna be a very rough season. The writing in Grounded 1 and 2 it's not really a story-driven game. It's more of an open world, open world survival game.
Grounded is just a good fun game.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good game. But it's not there's a story there, obviously.
Sure. We never even finished it, did we?
No. It's not out yet. It's still in beta. When they finished the game.
I thought that was the beta phase.
No, that was the beta phase. It was the beta. We played the beta. It's an early preview program. It's still an early preview program. They've still been adding stuff left and right with that game. We'll go back to it when it's all said and done. All right, so Obsidian. What else we got here? We got id Software. Okay, got hit by big layoffs. id Software dev claims it's been regulated to a support studio size, as 136 layoffs confirmed. Okay, so an id Software developer affected by this week's sweeping Xbox layoffs has claimed that the Doom and Quake studio has been nuked into dirt and regulated to a support studio size. So according to an announcement published on the Communication Workers America last December, id Software had 185 employees in total, which would mean that the figure is accurate and the majority of the studio workers have been laid off in just a few weeks. Huge Xbox cuts. Okay, collectively, decades of knowledge was wiped out of the studio, he claimed. The visual effects team was eliminated down to one single artist with no lead or producer. The engine programmer responded for the massive gains of visual effects pipeline improvements. Like all the particle editors' work was let go as well. Okay, all devs that had the knowledge of procedurally modeling,
the Houdini knowledge. I like it.
Houdini knowledge. Animations were also wiped out. So all workers from the Doom Dark Ages in that program has gone to waste with no one to carry it on. He concluded, "Great job, Microsoft. Nothing says business success like nuking a team into the dirt and regulating them to support studio size, with also throwing out massive technology achievements." Now, it's amazing to me that they let Double Fine, Compulsion, Ninja Theory, Undead Labs go. Yet these guys, they make good games. Dark Ages just didn't make it because they, again, expensive game. You can put it on Game Pass.
Well, we could speculate. Like, I'm not sure if the 20s and the 30s crowd are really into like a Doom type game. Like
look, I'll be honest. I haven't played any of the Doom games, Game Pass or not. I didn't touch them.
But you have to remember, the original reason Doom was good was because it was the origination of first-person shooters. Right. The later group of people that played Doom was because Doom was done with spectacular graphics, speed in mind, and your own soundtrack in the background. Either the soundtrack from the game was good, or they had it to be where you could put your own soundtrack in there to play the game while you were playing it, right? So it was done speed, right? The movement was speed. It was almost like the Call of Duty type of speed, but a single player game against demons. Like that's what it was, right? The running around, the jumping, the finding the secrets, like that was the pulse of the game. I don't know if anyone even appreciates that type of game today. So the fact that it didn't do as well as it was supposed to says a lot about the game by itself.
If I ran Xbox Studios, I would have these guys go, look, make the Doom game you want. How about we change the franchise? Why don't you guys, instead of taking $100 million making Doom, right? How about a couple of you guys go off your own and make a Halo game like this? Make another franchise like this, where they're all kind of like Doom shooters, but in different IPs. Why not? If you're not spending $10 million, $50 million, $100 million, try something different with your IPs, but give it to people that actually know what the fuck they're doing with an actual game to make it look good.
I don't get upset by the firings and the way the machine has to work. It does what it does. But the fact that you would destroy a veteran team and not put them on something better,
right,
is just a waste of talent.
Or at least give them the money that you're giving to the other games that didn't do anything with. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys have provenly shown that they have good
chops.
Games.
They have the chops.
Yeah, they have the chops and they can do stuff. And yet they just completely gut them. Right. And it makes no sense to me because they did this with High Moon Studios. They did this. What's another company that just makes really good stuff? And then all of a sudden they get tossed to the side as a support studio.
Saber.
Well, Saber's on their own still. So, right.
You're talking about attached to a big publisher. You're talking about.
Yeah. Like, why do they break these guys down, but save the other guys that don't do anything? It doesn't make sense.
Because they're not looking at it based on talent. They're looking at it based on revenue returns. That's why. You do understand. You especially understand. I know a lot of people in chat understand that starting a new team and starting up something fresh and everybody concentrating on the same idea. Some people don't jive well. You're not gonna mesh well. But you get the right people to understand what the idea has to be, what the goal is supposed to be, and then you start to jive really well. You get the games that we grew up with. You get those type of games where the passion's there, the skills are there, the gameplay is there, it's fun, it's fresh. Like, those teams do well. Now, nobody's saying, I look at it as like a rock band, right? Like, the rock band might have 2 or 3 great albums. Some people get old, some people need to stop, some people move on, and that team doesn't jive anymore. You're not going to get the same magic you get every time, but you at least enjoyed it when those guys came out with the best albums they had, right? This is the same thing with gaming, except that you have somebody in charge of the band breaking them up, as opposed to the band breaking up on their own. Like, you want those guys to work together because they make good products. They make good content, or I don't even like to say content, good art. And now we're being limited.
So Fran Marabella, he used to work for IGN back in the day. Okay. He said this on Twitter before we went live. He says reports are swirling that id Tech, one of the most iconic, influential game engines, which is what id Software made, might be on the chopping block at Xbox. He helped usher in 3D gaming into existence at a minimum. All right. Brilliant engineers are gone. It's been gutted to the status of abandonment, and it feels like the most soulless things Xbox could do. Turning id Software into a new Coke recipe because of business is struggling would just be a massive blunder. Yep. It's hard not to look from outside and think, sorry, Xbox, you bought it, you broke it, you fix it. Okay. The magic of what they do and so many other game developers is at the heart of the irreplaceable feel of gameplay, visuals, and art at id Tech. I hope there's also a strong plan to keep at the heart of id Software beating. Some of the original founders, have been stepped forward to offer support, but mostly only messages on challenging market and game preservation. He says, I love to hear from the discussion important of these tech and team up with simply trying to streamline everything in a place like Unreal makes any sense at all. He says, I'm not the expert. Maybe it was a mistake to have multiple game engines with all that support and individual human touch needed. But it's hard to believe that consolidating the magic into one game engine like Unreal would retain the brilliance and art that it has created through all the years of Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, Rage, even the foundation of Half-Life, right? So, it doesn't make any sense. It It's like when they do something like, yeah, they save 4 studios. They save 4 studios. Let them go free. Go make games. And they're like, id. Yeah. And they're like, oh, great. They let 4 studios go. Maybe they're going to let us go. They're like, I'm sorry. We're completely destroying you. And you're not going to do anything. And you're going to be just 5 guys left in the studio. And you're going to go into other parts. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. It was known for pushing the envelope for other games. Like they would do their first person shooter with the engine and show what it could do. And then other developers would take what they did and be able to make the games that they wanted to within the engine because they taught them. Basically, they taught them they let them know what the engine could do. That was the original reason for them, right? Now you're going to just get rid of them. Who pushes the envelope now?
Right. Michael Garvey says this. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No, go ahead.
Michael Garvey says this is what Game Pass did to things. South of Midnight and Doom are equal in their eyes, rather than the competition of the market. The problem with this is South of Midnight, because it cost $100 million, and this also cost $100 million, it is equal. And they fucked them both over because they took $100 million games and put them on Game Pass, which they don't have the volume of people on Game Pass to make that money up. They don't. They have to have double to triple the amount of numbers they were supposed to have, and then this would work, but they're not there. So if that wasn't working, they should have not put any of these games on Game Pass. Look, again, I'm a gamer. You put it on Game Pass, I'm going to play it because it's good for my wallet. Okay. But I know as a gamer, putting that on there, $100 million budget is not going to make it. Why do you think Expedition 33 succeeded? Because it didn't cost $100 million and they got paid to put it on Game Pass. Okay. There's so many examples that Game Pass works well for companies. And there's also so many things that doesn't work well. And most of them don't work well because of the first party titles that they just drop onto Game Pass because they're not giving them money to put it on Game Pass. They're like, here's your salary. This is what the game budget is. Oh, and by the way, we're just putting it on Game Pass. Suck it up, Buttercup. Right. But they're like, well, we spent $200 million. They're like, don't worry, it'll make it. They're not going to PlayStation. They're only going to PC. It's a niche game. Like it is for Compulsion's South of Midnight. It's 14 layers of management. 14 layers of management is what fucked all of this up. They're like, yeah, it's be good. Just put it on Game Pass.
But we already
know. They thought if by putting these $100 million games on Game Pass, that Game Pass would go up 40, 50, 60 million because of these things.
They don't get it, though. They don't get it. They don't get that people are going to say that I don't play games that often. I don't play enough to pay you every month to have Game Pass. Right. That's what it comes down to. Because if it was so convenient and so awesome, you would just get it. Right. Well, remember, that's why let's not forget, they combined it. Right. You had to pay for Xbox Live. Right. Yep. Just to play online, to play Xbox. Now we're saying that Xbox doesn't charge you, but they do. It's still included into that Game Pass price. That's what it is. Right. That's what it is. For you to play online, you're paying it through Game Pass. It's what it is.
Dupla says, I refuse to believe that Phil Spencer was retarded enough to not realize Game Pass was not feasible. It was feasible. Look at the difference between when Game Pass first started and when they started putting games on. They just started putting games on like 3 years ago, like midway through this generation. They started putting like first party title games on there. We're like, oh, we're finally getting games. When Game Pass first started, it worked. And they were making money, even with 12 million or 15 million, because the games they were putting on there were old.
They're just old
games. They didn't have to pay full price for these games, right? They were paying Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption $5 and $15 million a month for 6 months just to keep it on there with the leaked documents from the court filings and stuff, right? They were making money because they wanted to be Netflix, and they were doing the exact same thing, fuck ups, as Netflix did. Netflix was losing money hand over fist because they kept paying third-party companies to put their big titles on Netflix. And they're like, well, how do we make money here? We're not making... So they had to raise the price of Netflix. Then they started making their original programming, okay? And then they started putting them on there, and they kept the budgets low on the original programming. And then they started making more money because they had more value there. Xbox was paying third-party titles, small ones, but they're like, oh, let's take our really large games over here and throw them over there that have been in development for 7 years. And they're not going to make their money back because there's not enough people on there. And they thought because the people were going to be there, but then they never adjusted. They never adjusted. They're like, yep, just keep putting them on there. Maybe the second one will do it. Maybe the third one will do it. Maybe the fourth one will do it. Nope, still not doing it. I don't understand what we're doing wrong. Well, I don't know. Maybe because you put games on the other thing, Xbox doesn't mean anything anymore. Everything's an Xbox. You're putting $100 million plus games on Game Pass. There's a whole bunch of fuckery going on. You're like, what's happening with this company? I'm going to play your games though. Put it on Game Pass. Put everything on Game Pass. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. We got one story. While we're talking about this one, I'm going to put the banner up for Q&A. If you guys have a question you would like to ask us, put a Q in front of your chat, and then maybe we'll read it. Most likely we'll read it. Let's go with Marvel Rivals. Jubilee comes out. Oh, what happened? Jubilee comes out tomorrow, I believe. And Marvel Rivals Season 9 update will affect 80% of its roster as NetEase throws balance out the window for more fun approach to the game. Now, I haven't read this article yet, Sarge. But 30 NSG, when the game first came out, and I said they should put all the characters, as many as possible in the game, right? And I said, don't worry about fucking balancing because people just want to have fun in the game, right? I understand people want to be competitive and the multiplayer and stuff like that, right? I said, but don't worry about balancing. And here we are, a year and a half later, they're throwing fucking balance out the window, okay?
Weird.
Marvel Rivals will open the doors to the most massive overhaul to combat systems since launch. That affects roughly 80% of the heroes roster when Season 9 kicks off in a couple of days. There are hero reworks and massive changes to team-ups and substantial ultimate charge nerf. The state of Marvel Rivals has...
Is Hulk going to do the clap and just kill everybody?
And kill everybody? I don't know, maybe. The state of Marvel Rivals has been slightly continuous to some may say even stale over the last few seasons amongst frustrations with the misdirect balance patches. Suffocating strategists and strengths and barrage, the ultimate contest, players didn't even have a lot of love to give the game's state of affairs. But it also seemed like NetEase went to Season 9 with the intention of taking hammer to everything, for the better or worse. Okay, it's debatable. It says, I'm certainly happy to see another huge nerf ultimate charge with Vanguard and Duelist get a decrease. Conversion rate 70% down to 55%, with the strategists get a conversion rate of damage of 75% to 55%, and the healing 75% to 60%. This will hopefully tone down the frequency of ultimates and stop teams fighting, ending with whatever team has the best ults coming out the top. There's also been huge changes to the team-up system as sheer number of abilities grew over the devs gradually started feeling the strain. Led combat designers explains in the dev diary, some of the new team-ups started feeling a bit uninspired, existing just for the sake of ticking a box. Once we realized this, decided that the time was absolutely revolutionizing the team-ups. NetEase has scrapped the team-up anchor bonus and replaced it with each hero getting 2 separate team-ups with the base effect and an enhance effect, and the base effect will affect regardless of whether or not the other hero is in their team. That's fucking crazy. All right. So, for example, Hulk now has a team up with Captain America and Wolverine. His base perk of Captain America deals AoE, reduces cooldowns regardless of whether Cap is on his team or not, while the enhanced version sees him deal increased damage when Cap is on the team. All right, so on the Hulk gets the CC immunity as he's based effect with Wolverine. I've always thought that Marvel Rivals team-up abilities were the one and more creative, interesting, and impressive parts of the game, so I'm glad to see that giving it an overhaul, even though it does mean a slew of new and old busted abilities will come creeping out of the woodwork. Okay, it seems that Season 9 rejects previous attempts to bring heroes in line with perfect balance. Yeah, I told you, you couldn't do this, right? I said in the very beginning, I said, the more people you add, the harder it is going to balance this. I said, you can't balance it. Just let them have fun with the game. Now, I don't know if it's going to work or not. I saw it happening a year and a half ago when we played the beta. I was like, you got to put as many heroes as possible, and you got to let them you can't nerf them. And I said the team-ups would be the thing that kind of like keeps this game in sync, because you can buff and nerf the abilities, but if you have a team-up ability, it makes it better. It says you can also see the look of the balance notes in each of the heroes. So there you go. So they're shaking it up. They're adding Jubilee. Jubilee comes in. There's a new character. I still think character models are fantastic for this game.
But even if you had a problem with the fact that you can't balance it, right? You're gonna have an OP team, right? But even with the abilities that you have, people would still figure out that if somebody has these guys on the team, that the counter to that would be X. You know what I mean? Like there's always
it's a rock paper scissors. It's a rock paper scissors. Yeah.
Even though it might not be instilled in the move sets or the characters, if you see somebody has a character on the team, you know who the counter of that would be, so you can make adjustments during the game. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be that complicated. You know as well as I do, they were never going to balance this ever.
Well, even if they wanted to balance it, as soon as you add a certain hero in it, it would break it. And as Argus is saying, Jubilee looks broken as a healer. Jason says it's almost fresh start for everyone. They will balance it based off of what's broken and not. I don't think they're going to. Obviously, they're going to balance here and there, but they looked at it and said, whatever plan they have for people in front, like coming down the line. I don't know. Let's say they add. I'm trying to think of someone that's like super OP that they could bring into the game, right? If they ever add that person into the game, someone just say someone in chat. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they just bring that person into the game, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute. Well, just breaks the whole game." It's just about being fun. You want to fantasize, right? You read the comics, you see the shows. You want this person versus this person. You want to have a good time. Yes, there's a competitive scene. In the competitive scene, just like back in the day, I said if they separated PvP from PvE in Destiny, they could have balanced certain guns for PvP and not nerf them for PvE. They could have done this, but they chose not to do this, right? Yeah, Dr. Doom is a good one, right? When Dr. Doom comes in, he'll be fucking OP as hell. And if they didn't, they'd be like, oh, they kind of nerfed him. He kind of feels stupid. You want to be Dr. Doom. You want to be Wolverine. You want to be Hulk. You want to be fucking Hulk, right? So it's nice that they're backing down off of the balance. And I knew it was going to happen this way. Obviously, it took them longer to realize, or maybe they knew it and they're like, once we have 50 characters, maybe we'll look into in changing this. And here we are, right? We got Jubilee coming in. We got Red Hood coming in. I'm really excited about the PvE stuff they add into this and see where they go from this, right? Obviously, player numbers are going down because it's PvP. There's cheaters. People don't like the rank stuff. People do like the rank stuff, but they just want people to have fun in the game. Use the characters, have fun with them. It's just about having fun. A lot of people lose the fact that video games are fun. It's all about competitiveness. It's all about but sometimes it's just the fun. It's just fun sometimes, right? We're playing RV there yet. It's just stupid fun, right? I'm not trying to be a strategic. Well, you gotta do this. Yeah. No, you're just like, I'm just drive up the hill, see what happens, right? It's just fun, right? I don't need stat bonuses on the RV where if you put this tire on, it gives you 6 extra points of stability, or it's just like, I'm gonna gun it, see if it balances it.
The physics are fun.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with this. I'll probably go back and actually play it. What the hell? Why does that keep doing that? There we go.
So what is Jubilee as far as characters go? She's a healer?
She's a healer, yeah. What I haven't seen any gameplay of her yet. I haven't seen any gameplay. I'm gonna go in fresh looking at her when I go play. I still haven't played Cyclops. I haven't gone back to play Cyclops yet.
What do you mean you didn't go back to play Cyclops?
I didn't play Cyclops at all yet.
I thought you guys already played.
I haven't played it. Nope. The last player I played that was new was Rogue and Gambit. That's the last 2 people I played.
Did they make Rogue's ultimate ability steal power, or is it a sub power?
She has where she drains the ults and stuff like that, and then she can also steal. Yeah.
I was just curious because I'm thinking about her as a character. She's OP to begin with. I was just curious: is her ult to steal another character's power, or is it? Like how did they set up the ult for how did they set up the ult for Rogue?
It is. Yeah, I didn't play much of her. Gambit I like. Gambit you can heal and you can also do damage. It's like a sort of like a character like a Cloak and Dagger a little bit the way you do it. Jason says Cyclops is really strong. I've been using him a lot. Yeah, I haven't touched him at all. I didn't even play that much of Deadpool either. I used Gambit a lot. Rogue can steal certain characters' abilities, is what he says. Yeah. So she does drain ults though, doesn't she? Like that's her ability. She drains like the meters from everybody.
I just thought it would be interesting because she'd be like a really interesting CC character, because if you got too close to her, she might be able to stun you and use your own abilities against you as like her attack if she got too close. So it would create buffer zones if you used her. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see some of the fun abilities you could use it for in that type of game.
I know Nightcrawler is coming to the game down the road. He was one of the lead characters. I see him like if you can time it correctly, right? Someone that the person's about to use their ability, And as they pop their ult, you can like use your ult where you come in and grab them and then pull them out, and then it completely removes them from the situation type of stuff.
Well,
That would be
the
cool.
ult would go off where you bring them to, so you sacrifice yourself in order to save your team.
Like you just teleport in, grab that person, and then you pull them out, and you teleport them completely across the map or whatever, right? That'd be pretty cool if they did stuff like that. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what they do with at the end of this month. They have the new PvE mode or the new game mode coming in, and they haven't said anything like what it is yet. But
when's that supposed to come out?
The end of this month, July 30th, I think, or 31st.
So the PvE version of Rivals is coming out.
It's a new game mode. I don't know if it's PvE. But it's a new game mode coming in. All right. Let's get to, we have a couple questions. Let me close some of these stories that we're not talking about here that we didn't get to. All right. Let's get to Q&A. There's a banner up there. If the banner goes down, that means we're not going to take any more questions. We'll keep it up there for a bit. So if you have questions, you can bring them. We have 8 questions right now. First question up, Sarge, is Krebsy. He says, so we are in the era of everything in gaming getting leaked. How has the buyers of the studios like Ninja Theory not leaked yet? I mean,
penalty of firing?
Yeah, I mean, give it a week, right? Like, give it a week. It just happened. Maybe we'll have leaks, but give it like a week. It's like super fresh now. Maybe people are not really poking in to see who's buying them or whatnot, but I'm sure we're not having a show next week. Obviously, we're both out of town, but in 2 weeks, I guarantee you we'll know who's buying Ninja Theory and who's picking up Undead Labs. I think it's just too fresh, and everyone's trying to figure out the layoffs first. I don't know. That's just my thought process. Krebs says, is Asha setting up her Xbox exit plan with the U.S. Federal Reserve advisory role? Yeah, I saw that before the stream. Like, I didn't read into it. So she's on the advisory board of the Federal Reserve. I don't know how you get asked that, or how you get. Do you apply for it? Is it like an application online? Like, do they just show up to your door and like invite you to it? I don't think it's her exit strategy. I mean, it could be, but you know what? I hope it is, because I would be right again. Because I said 2 to 3 years, she's gone. Who knows? She's also on the advisory board of Home Depot, wasn't she? That's a big jump. Home Depot advisory board, and then you become the CEO of Xbox, and then now you're on the Federal Reserve. What do you think, Sarge?
I mean, if she's on the Federal Reserve thing, they're probably discussing about cryptocurrencies and the U.S. Treasury and how to protect and how to use AI. I'm sure there's a whole big thing going on right now. They're trying to invest in cryptocurrency for the U.S. So I'm assuming AI is involved. So she's going to be involved.
Okay. Next one, Krebsy says, can you make it make sense? Let me get this straight. The studio that were allowed to make whatever they wanted are sold off to buyers, but studios being forced onto projects are getting layoffs.
Well, they're all getting layoffs, right?
Well, no. Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, and Compulsions didn't get any layoffs. They got kept as whole, sold off, and got to keep their IPs.
It's weird.
But yet, id Software gets completely wiped, and they're done. Basically, they're a support studio. There's less than 50 people working there.
Oh, well, let's put it this way. I'm sure there were some kind of protections in the contracts of their hiring. That's why they were like that. Otherwise, you'd be fired.
Yeah, it boggles my mind that they would do something like this to one studio like that and not let them go. Is it that if they let them go, their technology is too important and they don't want anyone else to use it? So a lot of companies do this. They'll buy companies up, don't want anyone else to. All right, let me put it in this perspective, right? They had their own software they could do stuff with, but they would rather use the Unreal Engine, which is Epic, which makes things easier and whatnot. Just putting it out there. Maybe Microsoft and Epic have a deal where they have a deal in the back end where they use the Unreal Engine. They get a little kickback to it. They help them. They scratch their back. They scratch their, and they're like, yeah, we won't use this. Like sort of like what EA is using the Frostbite engine now, right? They wanted everything to use the Frostbite engine, proprietary engine for all of their games. Since Xbox is struggling and they have all these different games and all these different developers, they want to unify them underneath one umbrella. And maybe in software, they're like, well, it's useless because now we have a deal with this. Again, just speculation. Maybe that's why they're getting rid of the technology and stuff like that with its software and let the other studios go. And they had to close this one down for some strange reason. Maybe we'll find out, 6 to 10 years from now. Who knows? Again, speculation. Altered says, GTA Online will receive a new heist on July 14th, but GTA 6 was supposed to release on November last year. Was GTA 6 delayed fake so they also can milk online for one more year? I mean, I would say I don't think it's fake. I think they needed the 18 months. I don't know why they needed the 18 months, but I think they needed 18 months for something. If that was delaying to milk this more, to maybe delay it because of they wanted to make a stronger of $80 to $90 to $100 video games. Maybe it was delayed just a little bit more because it was closer to the new generation of Xboxes and PlayStations that weren't going all digital. It could be a bunch of different things, but it definitely was delayed because Strauss Zelnick said it was 18 months. 18 months was delayed. So maybe even if it was 12 months, it was actually supposed to go 6 months earlier. So it was supposed to be May of last year, but it got delayed 6 months. Then it got delayed another 12 months, right? So it could be a whole bunch of different reasons. What do you think, Sarge?
Well, I always look at it as if they were ready to go when they said they were ready to go, and then they stopped it. There's probably a lot of reasons because it's not just polishing. You don't polish for 18 months. Polishing
in
is
and out of stuff. Certain
yeah.
things
Polishing is 5 months. That's the last 5 months of your game is polishing. You're not polishing at 18 months, and that you're doing other stuff. I like to look at it probably as there was too many factors going on, especially at a critical moment. And I'm pretty sure game price was one of it. I'm sure they did. I'm sure that the chocolatiers got together and they were discussing what the price should be for that game, and they couldn't decide.
Yeah.
And they couldn't decide. And so they decided that we were going to wait. We're going to wait for the markets to change. We were going to see if the chip crisis would have changed in that time period, then the price of the game might have changed, that type of thing. But I think once the Micron deal was signed, that's why there was no longer any more delay, because the Micron deal solidified the companies that were going to buy chips for the next 5 years. So regardless of what happens with chips, those are the price of the chips.
Right.
So
that was just signed, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or at least it came out to us a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
No, the Micron deal is a little further back.
No, the one where they just did the 5 year contract.
5 year contract.
It was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. All right, we got next one. Altern says, if you have to guess, what did those 14 layers of management were? Do you think they were like yoga management, coffee machine management, lunch management? No, I don't think it was any of that.
It's all middle management.
Yeah,
he's making a joke, but that's what it is. It's middle management.
Yeah, it's middle management that basically they could have had those jobs, right? Because they did nothing while the jobs they were actually doing. 14 levels. There was that video that we watched the other day when Phil Spencer walked in to Double Fine, and you saw a whole group of people with them. You saw like Matt Booty and like 5 other people. That's what they are. Those are the other managers that are in the thing. They're like, oh, this is nice, right? They have no idea what they're doing. They're like, oh my God. Yeah, what are we making? Oh, it's a video game. Oh, okay. Like that's those people, the 14 layers of management. They just walk around with books in their hand and things, and they have nice lunches, and they go to the cafeteria. They get the massages. It's like a TikTok thing.
Their matcha. Yeah. They got their matcha tea.
They get the matcha. Yeah, they get the matcha. Krebsy says, surely it's a coincidence that a lot of those layoff from id and Bethesda are union members. You talked about this in Discord. Want to expand? Yeah. So I've said this in the past, right? Because I used to be part of the local 600, which is a camera union.
They don't want unions in gaming.
Okay.
Sure.
In Hollywood, now I did post this in Discord because Altern asked a good question. He said, why aren't why aren't the developers all getting together as a whole like they do in the film industry? Like all camera guys are in the same union, all lighting guys are in the same union, all right. We're part of different sections, but local 600 or locals, whatever it is. They don't do that, and here's why. Because I put it in. So let me read it to you, okay? Because I still have it on my screen from earlier. So, where is it? Let me open this up. Nope. It's in Discord. So the form of why they don't get together is like, you would think it's like super complicated, right? They're like, oh, well, why would they not want to unionize together? Well, they don't want to unionize together because they can't make a fucking decisions, basically what it is, because they want too many different things. They're too sporadic in what they want to do. So it says, on paper, it seems that the game developers would be stronger, and it would all belong into one union. In practice, there are several reasons why it hasn't happened. The industry is too fragmented. Okay, so they're all over the world and stuff like that. Labor laws are different in different countries. Okay, different job roles already have different unions inside the thing already. Okay, many developers don't stay in one company for very long because they're contract workers or whatever. They always kind of move. It's just what the industry is: video game, show pro, movies. Okay, studios often resist on unionization because they don't want it. They don't want to deal with it. Hence why, speculatively, they fire the people that are trying to unionize. And developers don't all agree. Imagine that. Imagine a group of people that want to shove stuff in certain games or not agreeing on certain ideas that they have for the studios, right? So they're trying to unionize, but they don't have the same organization and all the things that they want across the board. Unions sound great, right? Can be great, right? I loved my union when I was part of the union, okay? Because they do fight for you, but there are times when they say you go on strike, you got to go on strike, right? And you can't be a scab, because if you're a scab, then you're not going to go. It's not going to be very good for you when you get off of the strike. Okay, you're not going to work again. Okay, because they'll blacklist you, they'll blackball you. Okay, I'm assuming it's the same way with this type of stuff, right? So a lot of them don't want to unionize because then they have to pay a certain fee. They have to pay a certain standard of the thing. They have to keep a certain percentage of putting it into their retirement funds and all this other stuff on top of the other benefits they already offer with the company itself. So this is why when they go, oh yeah, we're going to unionize, hurrah, you did it, you got a union. And oh, by the way, majority of the people that were union are now fired. And now what did that do for them? Congratulations. You don't have a job now because you push the envelope. You're like, yeah, I want to. This industry, and I don't understand it, Sarge. In the arts, which is again show pro, computer design, game work, movie making, music producing, and stuff like that. Every time I work on a job in the movie industry, I could work for a studio. I could work for 20th Century Fox. I could be on the staff, and every time a movie comes into the studio, I'm the camera guy. Okay, I was the camera guy, or I'm a freelance worker. I work for myself, and every time I go on a job, I get that job. And when that job is done, and they're like, all right, it's a wrap, I am done. I'm fired. Okay, even though they didn't fire me, the job's over. You move on, right? I don't understand, because I went to school with these people that went to game design and stuff like that. They were taught ahead of time that you might not ever get a stable job. You might not ever, like, you're looking for that stable job of being at a studio and being there full time. But the majority of the people that work in this industry are contract workers. They might work there 6 weeks. They might work there 6 months. They might work there 6 years, but they're all not, they don't know if they're there for the long run. And when I go on, I would love, like, obviously movies are much easier than video games, because I can work on a commercial in one weekend and then work on another one the following weekend, or a feature film in 6 months or whatever. They stick on the same thing 2-3 years, now 4 years, now 5 years, now 6 years. If I was them, if I was the landscaper or whatever, design level, I would work on there, do the thing, and leave. I would go to find another job to pump up my resume. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look, I worked on this game, I worked on this game, I worked on that game. So at the end of your whole career, you look at it, yeah, I worked on 25 games. Instead of, I worked on Destiny. I worked on World of Warcraft, right? Like, I would hate that, because these are artists, by the way. Artists don't just make one painting. They make a shit ton of paintings. right? They keep moving and keep doing stuff to make their art better, work on different things. That's not what this industry is about. They use them as like as Asmongold says, make big rocks small, right? You know what I mean? Like he just put them in the quarry and just make them work. That's what they are. They're just worker drones inside of these corporations now. It's a long rant there. Jesus. Next one. Did you see that DC getting a carpet bombed on the 4th with the record fireworks show? Anything to say that those that say the July 4th is racist? Did it rain like I said it would? Or if so, you are welcome. It did rain. Perfect timing of the rain. It rained from like 5 to 7. Cooled it off, kept it nice and cool, and then we had fireworks. It was beautiful. Yeah, I did see the carpet bombing of DC though.
Yeah, if you guys can watch the replay of the DC fireworks show, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible. 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Right? They said the record
150 ammunitions.
Yeah, 850,000 shots. It was insane. It was basically like a finale for 38 minutes, and then the finale of all finales for the last 3. It was incredible.
There was so much smoke.
If you can watch it on YouTube, you guys should watch it.
There's so much smoke at the end when they do the finale. The light is just reflecting off the smoke, so it's just it is like a carpet bomb. It's like a flashbang. Like it's just bright white light at you. And you're like holy shit. I laugh though because there's so many people that do not like our president that live in DC that he literally was shooting fireworks at midnight to almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Just nonstop. They must be writing to their "I hate you" like letters the next day. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. All right, the next one. Eric Jones says, "Is 14 layers of management too much? Should Xbox trim a few layers of management fat?" They did. They got it down. They're getting it down to 5 to 3, which I think is still too many. 3 should be the max and maybe the mid. It should just be 3. You don't need 5 management levels into the stuff. I should be able to walk and talk to somebody and then get an answer within the same hour. Yeah. What do you think? 5, 3?
I just like the vindication of the whole thing. I've been calling them bloated for how long, bro? How long have I called them bloated?
I mean, we're doing 496 episodes.
14 layers. 14 layers of bloat, my friends. 14 layers of bloat. Everyone's getting a paycheck.
14.
Why does the game cost so much? I don't know. We got 14 layers of fucking middle management. I can't imagine why the game costs too much. You do remember the nerds? You do remember the nerds in t-shirts and shorts with no shoes that were programming Halo, right? Remember those videos?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Like Altern says, but if they only have 3 levels, who would they fire when they need to? Well, they wouldn't, because they would be
responsible.
They trim the fat, meaning what's left is the meat, right? So those people that have that job should be the best of the best what they're doing, so they don't have bloat. Next one, Altern says, do you think there are companies that need Asha Sharma, someone that comes in and cleans house? If so, what companies do you think need it?
All companies need a Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, look
at the Terminator. The Terminator is not activated until you fuck up too much, though. Like that's the whole thing.
Look at what Elon did when he came in and did Doge.
Yeah, right. Look what Elon did to Twitter.
Yeah,
right. You
80%.
Everybody who cried. You hate Elon. I don't give a shit if you hate Elon or not. Right? He comes in, he gets rid of 80% of the people working there. And everything stayed the same.
Yeah, you're still working.
So what the fuck were you doing? So what the fuck were you doing there? Let me ask you that question. What were you doing there?
You could do it to EA. You could do it to Take-Two. You could do it to Sony. You could do it to Nintendo, probably. All companies have bloat. Every single one. Right? Go to Meta. Take care of them. To Apple. Get rid of them. Like all these companies have bloat.
Doge should be doing 24/7. Everyone stopped crying about it, but Doge should never have stopped. They should have. They should have just kept going.
Do you know if Valve cut the people that are bloated with them? They probably fire 1 person. That's why they only have so many people working.
Like there's like 8 people.
No, they have more than that. They have like 113 or 130, something like that. But
the upper guys, though, is only like.
Oh yeah. But they don't have bloat, right? Everybody that's at Valve is making money and is profitable, right? Each person makes $1.6 million for them. That's not bloat. That's what they should do. Eric Jones says, will the U.S. ever win the World Cup? Do we need to import? Dude, I watched that game. What the fuck was our goalie doing?
They were playing a complete. I don't even know who they were. They were playing a completely different way than the last game.
The goalie could have picked up the ball, and instead he did like some little, and then the guy just like kicked it into the goal for like the third goal. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, it was an embarrassment, that game.
Yeah, but we made it to the round.
Yeah,
elimination round. It's still good.
They made it to that round, but that game was embarrassing. They completely got outplayed. Yeah. Will they ever win? It's a hard tournament, man. And these countries.
Have you ever, outside of World Cup, have you watched the world teams play?
Oh, yeah.
They're insane. They're insane.
They're in a completely different league, man. Like these people
teams.
have been playing soccer for like centuries.
Yeah, since they were 6.
Yeah. Before our country was even made, they were playing soccer. Okay. Altern says, would you buy a AYN Thor? I was looking into it. I was telling Sarge earlier before the show started. I was thinking about buying this little handheld device. The standard one is like $400. The light one's like $259 or $325 or something like that. And I was like, that'd be a nice little thing but you told me, Altern, that it's not powerful enough to do certain games. So don't get that one. You should go up a level. So, but I'm going to do a lot more research on those. Those look actually cool. If I could play Steam on those things, I mean, that's all I need. I mean, right now I'm using my phone with the game, sir. The game, sir. I don't think you're going to buy one of these, Sarge. You don't care about this stuff.
Not anymore.
It's a little handheld that we saw today.
I saw it.
3DS.
I watched it.
And Altern says, should Aku ask for a few days off for work to play a Shrouded all night long? Yes, he should. He's addicted to the game. We were playing it, and then he played it. I was like, fuck you guys for getting me addicted.
It happens.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
That's how you end up with those Madden people.
Yeah. Prosty says Doge ended up costing us money, so it tracks. Sure, but you know how much bloat it found in the country? You know how much it exposed within the government ranks and stuff like that? So yeah, I think it was worth it. You know what else blows money for us? Everything else that our people lobby money for and that we're paying for taxes. So let's see here. What else we got? Will the U.S. ever win the World Cup? Will the Indians ever win the World Series? Will the Browns ever make it past the playoffs? And will Trump ever get the Nobel Peace Prize? These are all great questions. Probably no to all of them. Probably no to all of them. All right, chat. Generation X Amy, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. We do the daily grind Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Trying to get other people to come on chatting with. I'm sending out a few emails, so maybe we'll have a podcast for that every couple times. You can find me over on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. over on Fake Wizard News. I will be off Fake Wizard News next week. I will also not be streaming next Wednesday or Thursday next week. So there will not be a Generation X Gaming 497 until 2 weeks from now. And then we approach August, and then second week of August, we will have episode 500, and we will have, as of right now, Kingard is coming on the show. Greg Owen, I believe, is coming on the show, and Wizard might be coming on the show. It all depends if it works out with their schedule or whatnot. So appreciate it very much. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go down to the apparel store. I'm going to try to be working on new shirts and stuff in the future. We have new songs up on the Spotify playlist that you can download, buy, purchase. And you can also, I think that's it. I think that's all the things. I think we did all the things. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, and night. And see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips.